Ring. Yes, 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 yes. Yes. Welcome. Greetings. Welcome to another edition, another stream, another video, or what we call another live stream here on the Chaos Rain Show. I am Chaos Rain here. And for those that's watching or catch replay, make sure you hit the like button. Likes are free, like always, and it does help the algorithm let people know I'm live, how YouTube is. But before I go in on this so-called Hotep, I would like everybody to follow me on my social media. The links I'm gonna give you right now are the above, and I'll put them in the description at the end of this video. You can follow me on Twitter at Chaos27. You can add me on Facebook, Eric Ray on Facebook. You could also join Discord service of the Chaos Rain Show as well. And also follow my Rumble page as well. CRain23 Rumble. And what else? And become a member of the Chaos Rain Show as well. Links will be in the description of this broadcast. And the joy button is there. 2 tiers. You pick which tier. What's this? Interesting. Anyhow, I got distracted. So today, I've noticed Dr. Umar Johnson, like most so-called pro-black, back to Africa, stuff, has made his rounds again and again and again onto the popular sector of Hollyweird, for lack of better words. And because of this, and I say because of this, he has this big issue when it comes to Black people and their interracial choices in regards to what they do with their private parts. And let's be fair, honest here. To be honest, I'm not sure who he is and what he has or any justification at this point of the game to really be telling black people anything about what they should be doing with their parts. But on that, the whole premise of today, we're gonna watch maybe one video, maybe two, but mostly a video that is always trending. And my thing is this: as you know, I'm not really a proponent. I don't push interracialism predominantly on the entertainment / chaos reign show, but nonetheless, it's always gonna be an ongoing discussion because let's be fair and honest, black people like him, I'm not sure what he's trying to do, but I think he's trying to really get. Well, he already got the hearts and minds of a lot of black women. Let's keep it real. Let's keep it real. And because of this, black women are always going to come around with their purse and with their vagina to Dr. Umar Johnson freely. Now he's going to sit there and deny that he's getting access to the box of a lot of these women, but he is, and he's getting it so nicely that most black women today are pretty dumb for giving him the box because he's calling them queens. You're the queen of the universe, all this stuff. It sounds pretty pathetic, in my opinion. But like I said, each your own. You gotta do what you gotta do to hustle a lot of people in the community, especially black folks. Unfortunately. And also, y'all know, dude, as y'all come to the building, and make sure you watch the stream for a few minutes and hit the like button. As you know, I said this and I'll say this again. Anytime you come in, you just hit the like button and disappear. It does not really count as a like, or much as it count as a view, because how YouTube goes, you have to stay in it for over, I think, 120 seconds at most. And I'm just going to give you this disclaimer for not only for myself as a content creator, but any future content creator that will watch or come across this live stream, to know and say that if you have viewers that's constantly in the 20s, 30s, or even hundreds or more watch on a live stream, you also make sure that they stay on watching as long as they can, so you get every view and participation as possible. Second to participation, you want to contribute with your comments, leave some comments, chat along in the chat room with questions, and also throw your support with the super chat or Cash App. Regardless, I take any forms of money, unfortunately. As you know, the goal, like always, for every stream is $50. So deal. Let me see what's going on here. I'm trying to remember something, guys, because when I was doing this, sometimes some of these notifications do not get put out, and I have to go manually, like literally manually. So now I'm just checking some last minute. Sorry, getting tongue tied here. I'm looking at some things now. Where is this? All right. All right. And I'm seeing some weird notifications. But before we begin, Nick Cannon. I've been hearing, and this is just me, I've heard that with Nick Cannon, in regards of him having children with not only black women but non-black women, what they call white, Asian, or etc., or even Latina, which are white, that the word that's out buzzing that Nick Cannon's mother is not fully black, but his father is. So you know what I'm gonna do for y'all? I'm gonna do a quick Google search, see if this is accurate. And like I said, I do this live for all y'all, so I don't really speak off the hip. I gotta see with my own two eyes. So let's see how good Google is. I'm going to test Google out for a second, see how good it really is. All right, Nick Cannon's mother. Mother. All right, let's see what happens. All right. Well, what do we have here? Look at this here, guys. Let me see if I can get a better picture. Yeah, this is his mother. I'll be damned. Let me see if I can make this picture bigger. All right, I'm gonna share this picture. I'm gonna share 2 pictures of this because it looked like I found something. Yeah, this is interesting. All right, check this out, guys. Check this out. And let me share screen. And because no one has ever seen what his mom is. Let's see, this is the right one. This is the one. And let me make myself lower. Do y'all see this? This is Nick Cannon's mother. See that? That's his mother and father. So now let's look at another thing. Let's stop share screen. Let's look at this. Let me see if I got any more deeper pictures. We're gonna look at another picture. And this look like this makes sense. So we're gonna look at another picture. Okay. And it says mother is biracial, which is very hard to tell. This woman does not look biracial for those that seen the pictures. I'm gonna show another picture. No. Now, do you guys notice this is his father on the left, and this is his mother on the right? His mom don't look biracial, guys. Not at all. Look like another black woman. Anyhow. So these are the pictures. So it looks like the verdict's in. I'm not sure where I see the biracialism. I do not see it. So y'all that will catch this, I don't know if y'all guys cut it, but I don't see any biracial into Nick Cannon's mother. She looks like a regular sister to me. And that's what I'm noticing. I'm looking at some. All right. So I'm not getting distracted. Okay, so that's Nick Cannon's mother and father. Okay. 2 black people. So, and mind you, women that are mixed or men that mix, unless they look like pale or white looking, they don't really look all that mixed, in my opinion. But that's just me. All right, so now, no further ado, I know what y'all come to wait for. We're going to go into this video of the good old Dr. Umar Johnson and Nick Cannon, Yeah. And I got to watch this really. And this, mind you, this is the first time I'm watching. Well, it's not first time, but this is my first time really looking at it and giving a harsh critique. So let's begin. Fair use, fair use.
Man, we've been going viral. We've been having some heated conversations, some discourse, but I feel like they're all healthy.
Yes.
And we left off in the last session with me asking the question, and it's even the reason why I created council culture, because I want to be accountable. I want to be held accountable for everything from the community, from individuals, and I'm a true example of somebody who has been canceled many times. For things I've said, for things I've done, for opinions that I've had, things that I've pontificated what I've learned, I'm attempting to not just get out here on my soapbox and say this is what I know. As we know, we're both avid readers. We're both people probably, educated at certain levels on many different topics. And I've made.
And to let y'all know, Nick Cannon and Umar Johnson, they're 5-year difference. Nick Cannon was born 79, I believe, or 78. When Nick Cannon was born? Let me check out. I think he was born in 78. I mean, let me double check. I gotta check what year he was born. Let's check what year he was born. I gotta check this, see this. All right, Nick Cannon. Nick Cannon. Oh, well, I don't understand this, man. Every goddamn year they be changing these dudes' age. This is some weirdo stuff, man. Once they say he was born 1979. Now I see they say he was born 1978. Now I'm seeing they say he born 98. Which one is it? This is confusing, my nigga. This is confusion. Confusion. It's not trust the internet, man. And then I came accurate of how old these people are, man. That's what I like about this. But anyway, they say he was born 1980, October 8th. So he's a Libra. I don't know, man. I ain't gonna show you, but he's 43, about to be 44 this year. And the funny thing about all this is that, and that means he's a 6-year difference from Dr. Umar Johnson. But the point is this, that Nick Cannon, because he's only a few years younger than Omar, they're not really the same in regards to what they're doing. Now, Nick Cannon has the potential to do a little bit more because he makes more money than Dr. Umar Johnson, which he could use money more properly if he decides to really help more black boys and some black men. But, like I said, once you make a certain amount of money, there's some things you're not going to be able to do. I mean, it is what it is. It is what it is. Let me remove some things in the studio. All right, so let's keep playing. Fair use.
The mistake in the past to often just regurgitate things without doing the proper research. And we talked about this in the last session of like the responsible voices of being able to just say different things because we heard someone else.
Yes, sir.
So for council culture, it's about creating dialogue, creating safe spaces to have these conversations and learn. And more importantly than learn, to heal. So I left off at the end last session and starting off this session with asking a professional, a doctor of clinical psychology, do you feel I'm irresponsible as an entertainer, as a black man with, as people say in the community, a super father, or some people even could say someone who has created many broken homes. I have 12 children.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a lot of goddamn children, my dude. I mean, not saying I would have that many children, but I mean, let's keep it real, man. If you out here just slinging and busting nuts all over the place and busting in these girls' guts, listen. With that type of recklessness, that wild life, personally, you're gonna have a couple babies here and there. And trust me, women know who you are. They say, oh wow, I'm a rich black man. I love intercourse. I love busting in these chicks. Why not? Some women said they just upper chopping on the nails, saying, I just want to have his baby. Oh, and one other thing I do want to add on, since I'm talking about the subject matter. If you notice, 50 Cent's baby mama, the second one, she, just like most of these ladies, if you don't know their past, fellas, she too got pregnant. And not only one pregnant, the word on the street is she wanted to get pregnant again by 50. And mind you, 50 Cent is not no business marrying none of these chicks. So to all you fellas that's going to possibly make money and maybe go as far as maybe become, let's say, multimillionaire. And the problem with that is, these women know they're not getting nothing long term with a lot of these dudes. Hell, you ever look at Nick Cannon was once married to Mariah Carey, I think legally. They're not married now, but he knows he's not getting married again. So the second best thing he's going to be doing out here, he's out going to be busting some nuts on you chicks, and he's not going to put it on your stomach. He's going to put it in you, and you're going to have his children, you know. And I think he's going to still have more kids. No, he says he has 12 kids right now, but that's not stopping him anytime soon. He's going to have more. I mean, just give him 12 right now to be conservative. But and here's funny. I'm going to be serious and honest. I know some women had a problem with it, but let's be fair, honest. Most women know if this man's a millionaire, they don't care about that because all they hoping that he'll probably take care of it and may get some little check monthly. That's it. And regardless of seeing how the children is going to develop or what child is going to become, most women, especially non-black women, and black women could say too, falling about, they don't care how these kids come out. It's just another day in the office. You know, you get knocked up, you wait a couple months, you bust the baby out, and eventually you hope you open your hand out and get some receipt, some form of payments from all these stupid celebrity males. And that's all, and they're good with it, you know. That's why you don't hear them argue, get a peep because I'm handling business. And they know they can't say nothing. They say something, the money's gonna get cut up. That's why what's her name? Let me see what that chick's name that they be talking about. 50s and it's a little bit off topic, but I think with 50s last baby mama, she knows that her check's in jeopardy now that someone squealed and said she of all people was ran through even more hard because she got ran through Diddy's camp. She came from Diddy's camp. She is what they call an adult worker, sex worker. Yes, she is. And because this, 50 sit back. He had to sit there ponder with his cigar or cigarette and say, you know what? I knocked up an entertainer, an adult entertainer. And I said, no, Sherlock, no. What do you expect? What do you expect? And I'm going to say this. Most rappers, especially rappers and singers, are very dumb. I just got to be honest with you. They're very, very dumb. They're so dumb that they will sit there just throw away their little money to a lot of these women, Western women especially, and then they have nothing to show for it besides some little small minuscule bill monthly you give these chicks. And let's be honest, every state's different when it regards to child support. I think with the state of Texas, there is a cap on how much you get in child support. So you're not gonna get like $30K a month. And most of them should not be getting 20, 30K. I think that most of them should get from any man in America, if I want to keep it real with you, is on the average, for those that make more than 80K, you should get no greater than $2,000 for child support. And that's going to sound controversial, but that's what you deserve. If you decide to have a kid and know enough to do, man, and you just want to check, that's the most you're going to get. Now I'll leave it as that. So let's move on with the tape. Fair use, fair use. Can I go on? You know me.
I am an open and free-spirited individual who, like we talked about before, feel everyone has the ability to live their life in which way that they wish, and I pass no judgment on anyone.
Yes, sir.
I entertain, and in that same form, I've created shows like Wildin' Out to various different shows, to Bad versus Wild with Zeus, and all type of things where I.
It's very effeminate for a man to be crossing his goddamn lakes. I'm not sure why people are so enamored to see these dudes that are grown adults crossing their legs. Be very careful, people, when you watch any entertainer or any person in the business, and the first thing they sit down and they don't sit still but have their legs crossed. That's very feminine, especially for a man. We got things down there. It has to breathe. We can't just cross it and cut the supply. Just saying. All right.
Been ridiculed, and people often, irresponsible is light in what they've called me online. And I say that to say if there is a place that I've been responsible, because as we know, Malcolm X probably said it the best, that the media is the most powerful tool on the planet because it can have you loving your oppressor and hating the oppressed. But me knowing that, and me knowing that media is really just an acronym for manipulated entertainment designed to influence all, I'm trying to do the culturally responsible thing with council culture. But I got to hold myself accountable. So as I sit here before you as a man who I've heard many times say that we should not, lightly say that we should not date outside our race. You made many more colorful statements from the idea of going skiing with the snow bunnies and many other.
And they're dabbling in the snow, in the nice white snow. Where is the snow bunnies? Where is the snow bunnies? That's their thinking. And that's what's always on Umar Johnson's mind. That you brothers, are you out there? Oh, better not find yourself with no white woman, no snow bunny. You better get yourself a sister. You better find your black queen, because I'm the prince of Pan-Africanism. Anyway. Furious.
Terms. But, I do have children with multiple races of women, and, white being one of them. And I'm interested to know, one, how you feel about this. And then, as I sit next to you and I consider you my brother, I consider you someone that I admire and look up to in many different ways. But,
Likewise.
sometimes we agree to disagree on various, but this is a safe space to have this conversation.
Yes,
so
sir.
I say all that to say, as someone, I'm sitting on your couch today, Doc, heal me, help me.
Right. When we deal with interracial relationships, I always like to qualify the conversation for people who are listening, especially those outside the community, so that they understand I don't come from a place of hate. I have nothing against the Caucasian woman, Asian woman, Latino woman, East Indian, Arab, all the various beautiful women of the world. I have nothing against them. But I'm loyal to the black woman because...
It's funny. Besides Omar's up here, caping said that he is loyal to black women, which that's his business. Have y'all noticed every time now he's starting to wear this black nonsense hat, what they call a kufi? I think that's what they call it. And I'm noticing now he's trying to represent more of the Pan-African allure. But everybody, when they see this, say this man's a joke. And the reason why people don't take Omar seriously, even now, back then now, is because he has not facilitated that school system yet. Everybody's still asking, Omar, where's the school? Are we going to see the school? You keep begging and asking Omar, you're going to be delusional. Real talk. Very delusional. And guys, as you come in, make sure you hit the like button, share the stream, and hit the super chat. If anybody throws the first $5 or more, I'll open the chat room for everybody to chat for free. All right, let's keep going.
She suffered the most.
I agree 1,000%.
At the hands of this society
100%.
And this planet. And because I come from a black woman, I have a special obligation towards her. And when I look at when our successful black men tend to marry out or reproduce outside of the community, I think on some level it can be insulting to our sisters.
Okay.
I consider it insulting to the community as a whole. And as someone who works in the school, I've had to entertain conversations with black girls who are asking Dr. Umar, is there something wrong with me? Because it appears that when you all make it, y'all always abandon the community in pursuit of your spouse. And when we look at the wealth differential between successful black men and the women they choose to marry or reproduce with, it's very obvious that there is a significant financial gain to the woman in many times, which equals a significant financial loss to the black community.
I've heard you say this many times.
Let me give you one more.
That's a very small percentage of the group of overall interracial dating. Because
before he goes to that, you got to understand, and it goes back to what the man's still saying. He about to say but we're not going but. The fact of the matter is this, that if the man is, on his way to success and he's successful, it goes back to let you know, saying, what are these women, especially black women, if you want to go there, what are they doing when they around these alleged potential men, brothers that are going to be an up and under? What have they been doing? Have they been putting themselves in that position in front of them, doing what's necessary to entice them, so that way they could hopefully in time they play the part, you and him create a little relationship, and eventually in the years there, it will lead out to some form of marriage? Or you just sit there from the time moment you're just sitting there dating, you don't give a crap, you're sitting there putting this back on field. These questions should be asking to yourself. So, I'm the notion that still black men are going to still screw and maybe have relationships and maybe go as far as marry black women. Now I know there's data statistics out there saying 80% once they get to a certain level or where they are financially or whatever mentally, they most likely will look for black women and date and marry at a roughly more than over 50 to 80% clip. But my thing is this, I mean, even now where the climate is, most black men, if we want to entertain it, not so eager now to say they want to marry, much as marry a sister at this point. And the reason why, because it does not benefit or suit men at this point. A lot of people say it does suit men, but when we look at the paperwork, the divorces, all this way of filing, these women still come out pretty good. So I want you to keep that in mind. Let's keep going. Fairies.
There's only so many successful black men at that level that can elevate and create generational wealth. Okay. Because if we keep it a stacked up, the most interracial relationships we see, because I've heard you say this before, the most interracial relationships we see is a strong, handsome black brother with unshapely white woman that's happy to God.
He's equally at fault.
Trying to be this as clear as possible.
Right.
But it's a...
If you see any black man with a big ass woman, black, and let's say we go there white, I don't care what the circumstance, he unfortunately is broke. Yes, Chaos Man's gonna say it. And I agree with anybody that will sit and say otherwise. If you are a man that's not big, and let's say your money is pretty decent, last thing you want to do is take on and be a mate to a large woman, especially over obese women. That's the last thing you want to do. Like literally, last thing. But we find these scenarios that if you do see it, and it does exist, we see a black man with a robust white woman, and it may change to really, either a man has sex with her, or whatever. She's there for a release. And let's be honest, big girls, you are much more easier and fun to really give it up, because let's be honest, a man's not gonna really spend too much or do much with you because one, it's not a good look, and two, you serve purpose when it's a quick busting session. You're there with one phone call, and the man will come in and then twinkle and rock your boat. and blow your back out. But other than that, in regards to relationship, nah. Musu's not interested in a relationship with no big woman. Especially ones that are sassy. I mean, I'll leave it there. Let's keep listening. Very serious.
A black man that can have any woman he want, but because he can put his car in her name, and he can financially gain off of this white woman, who looked like she done had a couple of Taco Bell trips,
right.
And she happy that she got her a good black man. And those are the questions of why these young black girls like, why would he choose her and not me? Because she got the paper.
Right, but either way.
And that's the majority. Now you see the athletes or the entertainers that might get them a.
But that's because there's only a few of you at that upper echelon.
Right.
But for those of you who are at the top 1%, right, income bracket, y'all go out the community to marry more than men similarly placed in their community.
That's such a small percentage, though.
Right, but black men marry outside of their race more than every other group of men per capita.
And I'm not making this as an excuse or an example.
No, not at all. Yeah. But I'm saying that cannot be attributed purely to coincidence. So let me ask you a question directly, Brother Nick. You have beautiful African children by beautiful non-African women.
Right.
Would you say, honestly, your decision to reproduce with non-African women, was that deliberate? I don't want my sisters? Or were you a victim of unconscious self-hate programming?
Now, I've had this conversation on another one of my platforms with our brother Reza Islam. And it's funny because online they cut it up. And they made it seem like I was saying.
And I didn't see that clip, by the way.
Yeah, it was a clip where it pretty much was, I was saying exactly that we've been programmed and conditioned to be that the white woman is superior.
It's more deep than that, Nick Cannon. Black people in general, see white people, not just white one, but white people in general, as gods, some superiority, period. That's why, not only we eat the diet, the Western diet, but also we indulge in the Western image. What is beauty in God, especially the beauty standard? If you are brother and if you were one of the brothers that sit there like to interracially mess around, you do so. You don't care about what our people think. Okay. Damn, I'm feeling odd. Let me get my extra. All right, sorry guys. All right, let's keep going. Very serious.
That's and I made all the statements that there was a time that and obviously all the sisters came from me because they just saw that element of the clip. There was a time in which white women were looked at as
the standard,
not just the standard, but symbols of success.
True.
And or even that are unattainable. If we go all the way back to slavery,
forbidden fruit.
We not supposed, and vice versa.
Okay.
They looked at us like we ain't supposed to be messing with them, and we was looking at we are not allowed. We can die if we mess
but see,
with
that's
them.
the difference.
Yeah.
You could die messing with them. They're not gonna die messing with you though.
So I say all of that to say I understand the.
Yes, we're aware of the lynchings and all the other things in history that non-black women done to black men, and unfortunately, because of history, black men, it has not really stopped black men from pursuing non-black women. Reason for that is because the environment, and let's be honest, how black women operate in this community, it makes a lot of brothers want to jump the fence, regardless of danger. Sad to say, but it is what it is. Let's keep going. And one thing about this, now I see somebody wrote something about, he doesn't like black women. I'm not sure which one. I don't know if it's Nick Cannon or Umar Johnson that wrote that. If you could elaborate, I would appreciate it. Let's keep going. Fair use.
The social programming, and I truly believe it's so. And then that makes me, as someone who's done the research and the understanding, goes all the way back to even defining what is race and when was race defined. And as we know.
But before you define that, does Nick Cannon have a bias against black women when it comes to romance?
The quick answer is absolutely not. Because
how do you justify
I say this because one, just as much, I got a white baby mama, I got a dark skinned baby mama too. So in that sense, I can equally say I ain't got no type. You know what I mean? Like I love women.
I would push back because as a successful black man who has children with multiple women, for almost none of them, or let me take the positive, only one of them being of African descent, does that not suggest that you clearly search out those who are not of your racial group?
So that's why I had to go here first. And we're gonna, I don't want to get too deep. I want to talk over anyone's head of phenotypes. Because in that
and like I said before, and people caught the stream earlier, I took a look at his background, his parents, and both the parents are black. The mother is from what I'm hearing, is a mixed race, but for her pictures don't look like she's mixed race. If she is mixed race, the other parent that produced Nick Cannon's mother probably is either somewhat biracial, but they are black, and the other one might be black, and that would make why his mother don't look like she's mixed. Regardless, if I look at the hair type, I look at everything from the head down, and I don't see no admixture to the mother predominantly. But for what the word is that Nick Cannon, his views and his likes and tastes on women, because his mother is a product of miscegenation, and really truly that's somewhat could be relevant, but it's not, because in this Western world, people are gonna like who they're gonna like. They hear the notion, the saying, love is love. I don't believe in that, but that's another story. But so they think the love is love means that I can love on anybody, including outside the black culture. So, and I'm probably gonna drop the link to one particular person to break down why Nick Cannon does not like black women. I want to hear this, so I normally don't do this, but I will do it now. And it's too early, but I'll do this now. For for the more elaborate. All right, let's keep going. Fair use.
Into when I'm talking about the origin of race, because before there was race, there was phenotypes, and really that's just based off of what we look like. So in that sense, to where in I guess what the German doctor in whatever 1700s, Dr. Johann Friedrich Blumenbach was the dude, the psychologist, who said created race. Who hit, I think it was 7 identities, and it was everything from African to Ethiopian to white, to where they could put this hierarchy system that white was on top, therefore that they could classify while everyone else was subdominant. So in that, before that infrastructure was created, and that was even during slavery had already been established here, in America before the term race was created. So it was phenotype in what we look like and origin in which we came from. And as a Pan-African, I know you understand the ideas that even with, we've been there, even within the motherland, even in the continent, there's a hierarchy of complexionism. And there's and sometimes even
introduced by the oppressor.
Of course, it's colonization, and even then now in the terms of I've gotten in trouble for this talking about the power of melanin. In the sense of, as Tupac say, the blacker the berry, the sweeter the juice.
I would agree.
And in that sense, so yes, like I said before, there is an idea of the standard of what we believe to be beautiful. I believe a dark complected woman who embraces all of her naturalness is far superior, especially in this day, and in her beauty, than someone who is attempting to assimilate or look like someone else.
So if you have any more children, she's gonna be a chocolate goddess.
I got one.
Now, hope you guys are entertained by this. I don't know if I'm entertained, but yes, Nick Cannon does have some black children. I see some that probably 1 or 2 women that's black. I know Dr. Umar likes to talk about the black children, the dark-skinned children. And personally, I'm not sure Dr. Umar's children that he has 2 daughters, are mainly rich, because he does have kids, but no one knows if the kids are dark or lighter hue, personally. So that I gotta really question. And to me, this is just me. But this notion of, you must keep it in the race, this, that, and third. Regardless how we see or view things, black people today, more than ever, are more comfortable, and not only comfortable, but are more dating and mixing out and misogyny more than ever in the last, I would say, last over 20 years, maybe 20 years now. I think roughly around the 2010 era or the last decade, um, we see it slowly starts to increase. Matter of fact, I'll tell you one thing, because when I cover this on the charts, and the folks will be on women than the men, because men are gonna do what they're gonna do regardless. I don't really focus on, because there are some men that are gonna have mixed kids. It is what it is, because it is a little bit more challenging, and the access of women, come men have to do a little bit more to get access, a little bit more challenging. So those that you see that are misogyny, um, a man got put in some work to get non-black cooch to procreate and have mixed kids on the average, roughly. Not saying it's easy, but it's might be challenging a little bit. But when we talk about the ladies here, which, like I said, with the study, they talk about keeping the race. A lot of ladies have been messing around, but come here, they're not getting married like that, and they are having non-black children as mates. So personally, a lot of black people today, men and women, they're not really so focused on keep it in the race, much less having straight black kids, black male kids, to be roughly blunt. I think, and I know there's an old Negro saying that sometimes some of the parents back in the days, 50s and late, early 20th century or so, they always got to check, depending who they have the kid with, they always got to check what is what the potential complexion of the kid by looking at the back of the ears, looking at some parts of the body of the baby. It's kind of ridiculous, in my opinion, to find how heavily melanated the child's gonna be. It's preposterous. It's nonsense. But yeah. Wait, hold on. Oh, I see somebody. Let me see what this is. I do see. All right. I'm gonna bring you up. It's your first time here. Who's this?
Nisha, unplugged and unfiltered.
Okay. Nisha, have you been on my channel before? I think you're first.
Um, I used to be on with you and Amiri.
Oh, is that you, Nisha? Are you sure? Are you sure?
Yes,
Are you
I
sure?
am.
Are you? Can you cam up a little bit to let everybody see, if possible? If
You said
possible.
turn my cam on.
Yes.
Oh,
All right. Hold on.
I'm,
Let me fix the
I'm
camera a
looking
little bit.
crazy right now.
No, you good. Good. Oh, that's you, Nisha. I was wondering who was writing that comment. All right. Since you're on my channel for the first time, welcome to the Chaos Rain Show. As you
Well,
know, I'm going through the
thanks.
interracial portion of this video. Um, if you want to detail and elaborate why um Nick Cannon hates black women, I would love to hear this from your
Well,
perspective. And
I don't. I wouldn't say hate.
I really want not just honest people, but really, we want to really break down what is the reason why Nick Cannon hates the black woman. I gotta hear this. I'm gonna do some pushback, but go ahead. I'm listening.
Well, I wouldn't say hate. That's a strong word, but I would
But hate
say
is good.
that.
Hate is beautiful. Nothing's wrong with hate. There's something in
Well,
the African proverb I know from a man. He said, "Hate and love are the two polarities. It is a necessity. You can't have one the other." You get me? So when we view hate, we think it's a negative thing. No, hate can be good. Unfortunately.
okay,
All right. So good.
okay.
Good.
Well, I would say that he's been with non-black women and procreated with them repeatedly.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, I mean, that says a lot. I mean, I'm gonna say me as a black woman, I don't necessarily date outside my race. And I
Okay.
always date. I usually date dudes that don't date outside their race.
Okay.
So, I mean, that's just my preference. I'm not about to be in competition with, I don't like being in competition with other black women, let alone women that are not black.
Okay.
And then for that, to me, that mind frame is just something that I'm just not willing to deal with in my everyday life.
Okay.
So I kind of feel like for a male who does date outside his race, he said it himself that that's usually the standard. That's like, them saying, "Oh, this is unattainable. This is like, something that they consider to be success."
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like with him saying that, it's because that's what he absolutely feels. It's not him. I feel like those are him. That's him saying those things with him was him trying to deflect away from things because he knows that people are going to tell him those things because they were already on him previously about it with, like he said, he was on the other show with the other guy. I can never remember his name, but he already has had the backlash from it. So he's gonna come on when he has Dr. Umar there and say things like, "Oh no, this is, I'm not," but his dating patterns prove that he is.
Okay. One thing I would say, Nisha, because I've noticed they said that Nick Cannon's mother was a mixed woman, and I showed the pictures early in the stream, and she looked more black than and is recognized that she's black. So if she is a byproduct of mixed race, it's very hard to tell. Because usually when people are admixer on the average, unless it's actually a fully non-black parent and a parent is, you could see the admixture, obviously. You
Right.
get me? This mother, and I show you the picture again to kind of show how long you've been watching the stream. But let me see if I can pull the picture one more time for you to see. I'm gonna pull it one more time so you can see. Cause cause I never look in the Nick's family, see what they look like. All right, I'm gonna pull up this picture right here.
Okay.
This is a good learning thing. All right, and make sure you guys hit the like button and share the stream. All right, so this is the picture of Nick Cannon's parents. Share screen. Let me see this. Okay, so it's this one. All right, this is the picture.
Oh, nah, she don't look mixed it out to
She don't
me.
look a mix up, but
Mm-mm.
that's the word that she is a mixed woman. And regardless of hair, I look at everything from the top bottom. That you could tell when someone is a product that's passing for white. If it
Right.
was good, she does not look passing for white at all. She looks like a regular sister.
If she mixed with black and African American.
Possibly. But the point is why I'm showing that is because that is the deception they want us to believe. But the point is this: they said because his mother might be a product, that's what makes his decision of women he selects, even go as far as
Mm,
selects as to have his child. Now I can't pull up all the pictures of his baby mamas. I know
right.
there's probably a few of them that are black in those pictures, but mostly it's like a mixture between maybe one or two black, maybe three that's actually black, and the rest of them could be white or
Right.
mix. You get me? But the point is this: that in regards to him liking black or hating, he's just like any other man that he's exploring his options and he just dabbing into the fruits. And in this society that it makes so comfortable, well, to certain people, that there's no problem with it. Now, in regards to Dr. Umar Johnson, he keep pushing it rhetoric, that you must have this and that. That's fine. But like I said to the good doctor, and I'm going at it real honestly, that I said, brother, you don't have no stand on, you know what I'm saying? Because you are black, just I'm black. And regardless where you are, you should be at least have at least one woman that is somewhat your wife. Now, if you want to play the polygamous route,
Right.
that's fine. But there's no one that's said that he's stable. Say it's like you bounce around. You get me? And you have not accomplished a lot of things with this bounce around. And you send a present to other young black men that's coming on that they don't need to really stay on something. I could bounce around and collect money and say I'm doing something, but I'm not. Now, will the school happen? I don't know. Because right
Mm,
now we're in this is actually the 10th year since he actually fully established the fundraiser to start the school. And I know because I was following him since 2010 till now, up until 2014 when he created the fundraiser. And that same month, that same day when he just turned 40 years old, said, I found a place. I need your help to buy this place so I can start the initiative to having children in my school system. We're now over a decade. He's about to be
mm.
50 in August. The money
Okay.
he has, we all know the money he has already, regardless of money that he said that he's going to get a few years back in 2014, going 2015, before he got caught up because he can't keep in his pants with the stripper. One person was going to give him $1 million. But when we look at the amount of money, Nisha, how it plays it, if he's able to get this place established, let's say if he was to succeed, right? We got to look at the projection. How long are you going to maintain this? Because now you need the community. to support your vision. And what you want for your school is out of the vision parameters. You need funding from not only the small community you're in, but outside. You get me? And I mean, outside, that means you might need some of these celebrities that you see him with right now with Nick Cannon. And then put it right here.
Did I just hear Nick Cannon?
Like Nick Cannon right here. You need these type of celebrities to help throw in money here and there, like a grant a year to keep you afloat, to deal with the maintenance and keeping the facility up. Now, regardless, and mind you, here's a secret you did not know, Nisha. He's gonna have women or parents, mostly black mothers that are mostly parents to like children, to give the money to supply to keep the school running. You get me? And we all know, not saying black women don't see the interest of their children to get the best education, but when we look at overall, when they look at school systems, they're looking for ones that's either the system covers already, or if that it come out of pocket, it has to be financially suitable, so that way they don't have to do too much work, in regards their children still get the basics of education, reading, writing, arithmetic, all on point, while they have to spend their own money into the school. So a lot of questions had to be played. But the end of the day, Dr. Umar Johnson, as you know, he's sitting there getting interviewed by Nick Cannon, and they're talking about the interracialism. So I'm going to continue playing, because since you're up here and I know you a little bit, because how many more minutes on this tape? Oh, good. We have like probably 20 more minutes on here. I want, as I'm playing and talking about it, you give your own take. Is that cool?
Okay.
All right. And one guy said Umar Johnson had 2 black women become single mothers and they're married. Yeah, I mean, we all know about the single mothers he had. And I think there was tape that I played a couple months ago on this channel about the reason why he didn't want to marry the second baby mama. I'm not sure about the first one. He never talked about that from my memory. And he said because of some disputes with the the other mother, like the baby mother's mother, had issues with that. They were trying to hide and trying to barricade him and his daughter for a reason, And I'm saying, okay, so you have issues with the baby mama. Now we could say you could pick better, but there's ways to play that. You get me? You have to negotiate and make it a way where you have to be appealing to the baby mama now, because you didn't marry her, so now you are baby daddy. You want you all those rights you have. It's gonna be very hard because you're not a married man. If you're gonna play the baby daddy route, you hurt yourself in the system. You get me? Because remember, this system design, I think Mary said this, they only will protect you in a way if you're married, because now you create a bond and union through the legal route, paper route, that they have to respect to a degree. You still have to pay, but they're going to give you a little bit more rights than just being just a baby daddy. You get me? That's how it works. They're not going to respect you because first of all, you're not even tied to her. They're going to look at this as just like some simple little relationship that, oops, baby came around, and now you and her have an issue and dispute, and she just don't want to play ball with you. And now you got to spend money just to fight, just to see a child, which I think is poor. But that's how the system works. They will hurt you as a man, especially a man that know you don't got the money like that, to fight for your child, especially with the full custody, which is already a fight in itself. 50 Cent is going for that right now because he's going to have to go for a battle.
And then on the other hand, he's out here creating more single mothers. So
yeah, that's why you think about and Nick Cannon was married one time. I think he was divorced by Mariah Carey. Now he's not married now, but he's having a whole bunch of kids. And the reason why the women are gonna play ball with Nick Cannon is because he's a millionaire. Obviously, you have money, like you think they're gonna sit there, bite, all you gotta do is say, I'm Nick Cannon, I'm gonna do this for you, and that's all. And he just gives them the money, and that's it, and they shut up. Then I can sit there and say, all right, I need child support. Give me, I'm gonna get like 20 grand a month for child support. Yeah, I might get 30. No, what? You're not getting all that money. I mean, there's some states that will grant, depending on the situation or man's income, that. But the way house child support is moving right now, and let's keep real, they're coming back, and they have to, because most of these dudes now not gonna have kids with these women. If that's the only thing that's cutting back, is holding back from having kids with all these women, if they're not getting married. So now they're gonna have to supplement this because they need the baby making keep going. Either or they're gonna have to import more people. But anyway, and what's good, Andre? Let me keep playing, and we're gonna give commentary. Fairies.
Insane! I have a daughter named Onyx.
Beautiful.
Now, but I'm not saying I'd have just as much love as I have for Onyx as I have for my oldest Monroe. You know what I mean?
I believe that.
And
I
in
believe
that sense, it's unfortunate because I feel like we're the only community that has to deal with complexionism at this level. And
But white supremacy introduced that into us.
because there's the caste system and the class system that's in India. That's
right. But caste, that is true. That is true. But who introduced that into India? They were colonized by the British.
They were as well, but again, because as you remember, and it's in the books, and I don't want to say this because I don't want to, but even in the African consciousness, and it shows as we go all the way back to those conversations of when the white man did come on the continent, we looked at them as foreign and inferior.
Oh, absolutely. The white man was traditionally painted as the devil in African culture.
So before
we ever encountered him.
Right. So in that, it was never at some point, and however it happened through the colonization and all of that, this idea of beauty of a lighter complected, a thinner nose, a thinner lip individual was placed on us.
Okay. So you fell victim to that?
I don't think I did. I feel like again, like I said, and it's so complex even in my world because, you know, one of the mothers of my children has a strong, you know, Islam background. And when I say because I'm a Muslim from Africa, you know, and those understandings, but she's lighter complected. One would look at her and wouldn't even know. Or
well, if she's lighter complected and she's passing for not black, then most likely she's not black, unfortunately. And there are women that are the Muslim faith that are non-black. There are some women, I think, I don't know if it's Asian or, you know, some parts of the, you know, East Coast. I mean, in the East, wherever he's at, they do practice Islam. Again, it's not just black people. You know? So, you know, she could probably be actual Arab for all we know. But, you know, like I said, the passing, you know, you're gonna get some of them, but the whole premise of the conversation between Omar and Nick is, you know, the thing about interracialism, and Omar is always pushing, advocating to brothers to marry a sister, particularly a dark-skinned sister. So, you know, and he has to be careful because most women today, if they're black, they're not always gonna be jet black. They're gonna be some that's gonna be brown, caramel. That's why you see I don't reference a certain complexion, say you need to be this. Because there are shades of black people. We don't respect the shades because we have a mindset of colorism today, you know? Right. It's the brown paper bag test in a worse way, you know? So a lot of people, let's say a woman is, let's say, jet black and melanated. I mean, the only thing I would say, if you're going to be, let's say, dark skin, right? And you have an issue of, let's the word competing. I know you don't like that word, Nisha, but let's say competing, right? Then what makes you stand out the rest of, let's say, black women? If a lot of women don't think they want to compete, you know? Yeah, look at yourself, what you carry, what you offer, what you are. And you always got to look at it saying, if it's a man you seeking or searching want, I mean, it's always good to ask the question, but we don't ask questions what we want. You know what I'm saying? We always want to come in and say, you know, you should know what you want. No, because if you're a woman and you look for a said man, it's always good to peep and hear what men men really want. You know what I'm saying? And it should be like the norm, the average norm. It should not be, because every man has different requirements, but what men really want and seeking. You get me? That every woman should have a clear understanding, Nisha. Now, what's your take on, do you think that a lot of women, they don't really study and really come to concessions of what men really want? Instead of thinking what they think they want, but what does the average man, just general man, want? Do you think a lot of them know that, or they just, you know, just living life and just experiencing this, figure things out?
What I'm gonna say is, okay, so what I learned from my dad is that men don't always know what they want until they sleep with a woman. They don't know if they like you, some men. So I feel like some women don't take the time to look at the red flags. They don't take the time to understand even if they a match with the dude in general. um it's I feel like a lot of women also too, they get caught up in transitional relationships. I mean transactional relationships with a lot of men, because you can allow a dude, they can allow them to get text messages. You can't get to know somebody from a text message. And but you still doing it. And they when and I feel like, because you can't get to know somebody through a text message, when you are allowing certain things because you're trying to get the dude, or whatever the case may be. I feel like a lot of times, if they're desperate, if they not desperate, if they lonely, then they do allow a lot of things. They do overlook a lot of red flags, and they do. And I'm saying they, but I mean us in general as women, women of color. We don't always pay attention to the things that we should be paying attention to, because of the race to get to the altar. And in doing that, you never get to the altar because you're not paying attention. I feel like a lot of the times when we tell women, oh, you can't keep a man, like blaming her for the fact that she's not settling for anything and anybody, that a lot of it goes wrong right there. We have to understand that there are some women who do pay attention to men and what they say and certain things, but you don't really get to know somebody, like to really know if you can be with them. It takes about a year. And within that year, you've introduced him to people, y'all been seen out together. And so then other things come into play when it comes to the relationship. And just, I would say, as far as society, how they view you as a woman. And now they holding on, usually are holding on to things that just don't suit them, or don't, it just doesn't make sense for them to stay a lot of the times, but they try to stay because they don't want to be judged by by people in general. And I feel like that's something that we need to pay attention to. Um but as women, I feel like no, we don't pay attention to what we should pay attention to. We don't look at the red flags because we be so excited, oh, he picked me, and it never works out for us. So I hope I answered your question, but
So you're saying, Nisha, a lot of these ladies, they don't play the victim role like this.
You're a victim.
There we go, CSI.
No.
I mean, I think they do. But see, we have to think about the context of it. A lot of men come in and they say, "Oh, I'm gonna be this to you. I'm gonna be that to you," and then time goes by, and he's not anything that he says he was. The representative is a cold thing. And I feel like a lot of women are introduced to the representative, and because they don't ask enough questions, they are a victim in a relationship, because men like really sign us up under false pretense. And
Mm-hmm.
if we don't pay attention, those false pretenses become a standard for the relationship or the foundation, and it was something that was never there. I
I
mean,
see.
I've had dudes lie to me about the jobs they had. Like a dude would tell you he's at work and could be with another female. It's happened to me
Mhm.
before. And I've even had dudes lie about how much money they make. I mean, you would be crazy. You would, some of the lies that they tell are outlandish and outrageous, but if you don't search and you don't figure it out, they're not going to tell you they lying. So you got to, how you learn about the lies? Like, I think that it's always layers to everything, but some women do become victimized to men because of whatever reason that they were trying to get that woman. They lied about it.
Mm. Okay. Okay. Wait. I think, is that you, nameless protagonist? Look like you changed the name, brother. Is that you? Let me know in the chat room. Yeah. Yeah. I think like any relationship, you got to go through the experience. Uh, in my opinion, depending on your age, you're never gonna know all the flags. I mean,
Right.
because that's where life and experience come to play. Um, I think the problem, Lisa, when we have these conversations, is that a lot of people are not really honest about any form of traumas they go. And when they go into the world, especially let's say we go into the dating world and we try and meet new people for whatever intentions, it's going to come into play when they either feel deceived, or go as far as, their expectation was not what they expect, and the biggest question should be asked, say, okay, let's say you had an expectation that if a man was honest on how much he make, it makes me think, or just generally say, will it disqualify him? Most likely, I'm saying that, say, oh, we can't move forward. And let's be honest, there was a video one time, and I wish I uploaded it, but I didn't decide to, that back in the day, one woman was talking to what's that name? The homosexual dude back in the damn, I'm Bowen, right? I don't know if it's, I forgot what her name is. She's the one with the afro, and she wanted to be lied. She was blunt telling him that. You get me? And at least she was honest, but that was back in the 60s. That's like 55, 56 years ago. And we got to understand the psychology of a lot of men today. Even some of them want to be honest, they got like that it makes sense why they will continue with the deception lie. Because in their mind, that for them to give comfort to the lady or the woman or whoever, that the line will go farther than truth. And it really, at the end, is kind of intentional, and it can be backfire, but that's how it allows us to function, especially and that was back in the 60s. The only reason I reference that is that no one's gonna be true with their intentions, because we were really true to our intentions when we out meet each other for the first time, or we were trying to interact or have a conversation. There's something we're trying to get out of the situation, and we feel the line will get what we want, it'll go much further than being honest. And it's wrong. I mean, I'm not saying I wouldn't lie or do that, but I always gotta be cautious, at the end of the day, my intentions. And eventually, the truth, it takes a lot to get the truth out of me. For me as a man personally, I gotta see what you're and what I like to really go far as. Now, if the question was asked the right crucial question, then obviously it does ask for a real legit answer. But then again, most of us today, this applies not only to women but also men, we don't ask proper intentional questions.
That's
you want to
true.
get somebody? Ask the real intentional question, proper question. And if a person can't give you a real straightforward answer, the answer has been given. Simple as that.
Yes.
Yeah.
No answer is usually an answer.
Yeah. And yeah. Okay. So just bowing the mat. Okay. I see y'all guys having good in the chat room. All right. So let's keep going. Fair use.
And even in the sense of one of the mothers of my children is a dark-skinned complected, but still can be considered Afro-Latina, because so it's
But African Latinas are still African.
100%.
Just a different language.
But even within their
Some, not all. Let's keep going.
infrastructure.
Yes. They have the color hierarchy.
Yeah, there's
introduced by the white supremacy, though.
Right. So when I say that, I'm not looking to see, how dark you are, how full your lips are, how wide your nose is.
Let me take it another way.
Right.
When Princess Onyx grows up with her siblings, you're going to have a conversation along with their mothers about colorism.
100%.
As someone who grew up in a home with a dark sister who was darker than me, beautiful, but my older sister was darker.
Right.
I saw how she suffered some of the pangs of colorism within my extended family.
100%.
So when Onyx gets to the age where she begins to recognize race, and Brother Nick Cannon has to have that conversation with her mother and the mothers of your other children and your children, your family. Right. You're going to have this conversation. And when you start explaining to Onyx that your blackness is in no way a sin or a curse, it's a blessing and a power.
Absolutely.
Right? When she reflects back to you.
Her name is Onyx for a reason.
And to name us protagonist, or Nancio, no, I'm not gonna pronounce it. Yeah, it is some type of futurism. Yeah, that's what they sound they explain, most likely. I agree, brother. Let's keep going.
Absolutely.
Right.
It's black power, actually.
Yeah.
But when she reflects back to you as her father and say, well, Dad, if this color is all that great, how did you end up to reproduce so many children with women who are not this color? What would you say to Onyx?
Well, let's be personally honest. I'm not sure we have children, Nisa, but I'm don't have kids, but let's say this: how often do you see kids nowadays, today, in the present day situation, will ask their parents when they look at their brothers and sisters about the complexion? How often do you think children, let's say for the girls, are gonna come up to their mother or let's say father and ask about the complexion? How often do you think kids really looking to ask their parents honestly about, that question?
I think that if the family dynamic is the way his is, depending on the child's experience, that could be a question. My mom, I'm gonna say, okay, so I'm on a spectrum of when it comes to skin color. I'm
Mm-hmm.
the lightest one of my mother's children, but the darkest one of my dad's children. So when I was over my dad's house, I was called the black sister. And when I was over on my mom's side,
Mm-hmm.
I was considered the light skinned sister.
Oh, okay. All right.
So I feel like depending on the kid's experience or the child's experience, that would bring about questions. I have siblings who have light eyes with the light skin, and I used to wonder, like, why my eyes aren't, although my eyes are not that brown, they like, I got a little light to them, but they in some lights
Who
they
you?
look my eyes look very brown.
Okay.
So but they change color in certain lights, right?
Okay.
But I have siblings who have green eyes. I have a sibling that has blue eyes, and then I have siblings with just the regular brown eyes. But so I would think, like, sometimes the questions will come up as to why we look this way. Everybody has a different grade of hair. Why is your hair that way? So I just think that it just depends on the experience of the child and the environment that they grew up with in, that could bring about questions as to why I look this way.
Okay. 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 Yeah. Yeah, I didn't notice that. Okay. Yeah. I think we're very picky in regards to texture and the features because of this environment we're in, and I think what Nason says best, that futurism and colorism only matters where Western colonization took place. Yeah, and that's
Mhm.
all conditioning through not only the mental torments to a lot of black people mentally besides physical, but it sets a precedent that if you don't want to be harmed or affected in this environment, it is in the best interest you become like me, not just in action but also phenotype. And a lot of black people conceptualize that psychologically. You
Yeah.
understand? So it goes back to the story of they always look at these babies that's produced by said black people. They always check what features they'll have, what color they're gonna come out, especially first thing the color first before anything in the feature, because the color is always important because they're very gravitated by the color, you know,
Right.
and everything is like, and second besides the hair, that's important, but usually they always gotta look at what is the outer appearance gonna look like before everything else, because that matters. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
It
Yeah.
matters because of your child's experience.
Mm-hmm.
I think more so than anything. I think I would say, because I have a dark skinned son, I have a light skinned son.
Okay.
And I believe I raised them the same to believe that they're both handsome, because to me they are both handsome.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I do think that when it comes to some parents and some people that are sold out to the perception that light is right, then they would be bothered by a darker skinned child.
Mm-hmm.
Their preference would be a lighter skinned child who will have an easier experience, because it is very true that most of our, well, I don't know if it's so bad in certain experiences for women. The dating pool for a dark skinned woman, I understand, is very hard. But
Mm-hmm.
I would feel, though, although I don't have rights to say how I feel about it, honestly, I don't think that I'm very light skinned, but I think I'm somewhere in the middle on the spectrum. But I think that
Yeah,
just
and
this.
make sure as you taught the show briefly for those that don't know, because I get most people come and watching, so they don't know what we're talking about. If you want to cam up briefly, just briefly, because sometimes when we talk, and you already show yourself so they know, because when they come
Oh,
through the portion of the segment, See? All right.
Okay.
Now continue.
Okay, so I think that sometimes when we talk about skin color,
Mm-hmm.
it's a very, like, I would say, triggering conversation, because a lot of people don't, I'm the color that I am, I don't experience the light
Mm-hmm.
skinned experience. I
Yes.
get, a middle experience, and I also feel that a lot of the times, but although I'm not light, I don't consider myself to be light skinned. Some people may, but I don't.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I'm brown skinned, although I just think that, okay, so I was saying that because I was about to speak for dark skinned women, even though I don't feel like I can. um I just feel like a very dark skinned woman has a different experience in America,
Mm-hmm.
especially with dating, when it comes to discrimination, and when it comes to just certain experiences, that she's going to have a harder judgment, usually a more difficult experience, especially with Black men.
Mm-hmm.
And I do notice that a lot of dark skinned women, when I see women that are dating outside their race, it's usually them that are marrying white men. And I don't
Yeah.
have a
Yes.
problem with people dating outside their race. I even did some research on it and found that black women who marry white men, those are the most successful relationships in America for some reason.
Okay.
But at the same time, our experience within our own culture, within our own race, is very triggering for women who are dark skinned. I feel like dark skinned men, when it comes to the dating pool, they're desired.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have as many I would say they don't have as many issues, because I've even had dudes who were like, when I was in college, I was standing in line and there was a dude behind me. He was like, "Oh no, I don't talk to girls her color," like saying to his friends that I'm too dark for him.
Okay.
So I mean, I turned around and told him some things, but at the same time, it still doesn't pacify the fact that that's what he said. So I think that, when women are on the darker end of the spectrum, which I would consider myself on the darker end of the spectrum, I believe that if we're not on the lighter side, that we still do have discrimination, but not to the point to where a very dark woman would have those issues, like where she's just basically over sexualized and just not good enough, or, like just some of the experiences that I've heard women speak on. I feel like it could be very triggering.
Mm. Um, to your understanding, you know why the relationship between Black women and non-Black men are more long lasting in regards of, let's say, the marriage aspect? Why you think
Um,
that? So.
they said it's because they both understand the feeling of being ostracized in society. Because the white man supposedly is, white supremacy is on trial, and that's basically what it was saying. I don't know from what perspective they were speaking on. I just saw the article and I read it because I felt like it was very interesting.
Okay.
And but it was basically saying that they understand that being ostracized in society.
Okay. Okay. Well, to me, I mean, I look at it as, it's one of the unicorns that a lot of sisters, especially ones that's dark, that they can't get. But once they get that Mr. Charlie, it's like they want a trophy, a prize. They hold, they caress, they say, "Oh," like it's nothing, and they're gonna hold on to as long as they can hold on to.
Right.
So that's why these relationships will probably last long, because very rare they get them. And reason why, because most non-Black men, they prefer their own, most majority. If they gotta go outside their culture group, they'll look for something that's whiter or somewhat close to white, like Asian or Latina, depending on certain Latina, because in their mind, and obviously this is more than is a Western thing, it's a general thing, because they want to see some of their lineage pass on, including the money that they maybe accumulate, pass on to them. Because they in their back of the mind, they're not in the business trying to give Negroes money or give them what's rightfully theirs, and they keep it close to them. They know, and a lot of people will hate that, but let's keep real. If that's not the case, Black people will be getting their reparations ready. You know what I'm saying? If the money was not important,
Right.
let's say you did the damage, you were supposed to give right what was ours. and you're not. So obviously, you put system in place to keep everything to yourself and give Black folks the crumbs.
Yeah,
That's how it
trickle
works.
down economics.
Yeah, that's how it works. Now let's keep going. And I see you guys' comments. I'll look for your comments in a second, guys. Fair use, fair use. Oh, and make sure you guys hit the like button and support channel, donate to the channel. If I get $5 more off the bat, I will open the chat room live for anybody else to comment into the chat room. Fair use, fair use.
Dad has a problem of wanting an assortment of flavors.
Get out of here.
It's the truth. I want to taste everything. I want to know what that tastes like. I want to know what that tastes like. And it's just, and if I'm being honest, sitting here, it's just like, and I said, I got in trouble, and I apologize because I didn't know it hit him this way. And I apologize again. I was on one of these podcasts and I was outwardly speaking, and I think it kind of came out the wrong way. I was speaking about my brother Travis Scott.
Okay, what happened with Travis?
And it was
Scott?
when, because
the situation that happened.
No, he has a child with Kylie Jenner.
Okay,
and I was attempting to take his side and say, the statement I made, I said, in Travis dating Kylie, at no point do I think he was attempting to make a cultural statement. And in that, I think it got perceived.
But is ignorance an excuse for irresponsibility?
You asked that question before.
Yes.
I think it was perceived as him saying, but I was actually saying, I do the same thing where I'm doing it for love.
Okay.
I'm not doing it to be right here to say I'm doing it for my community or any of that stuff. I'm doing it because I love this woman. Now it may be,
and I don't doubt
it may be ignorant because I'm not thinking about what the community is gonna think. I'm doing it because, man, I fell in love with this woman regardless of her complexion, regardless of her race, regardless of her upbringing.
But do you have an obligation to the community though? You married her because you loved her.
No, but
do you have?
Because I get this all the time. You can't talk black and sleep white. You can't be black in the streets and white in the sheets.
When we look at childhood,
shit, you'd be surprised. Fair use.
Actors.
Yes.
You are the most prominent, successful black childhood actor probably in American history.
Right.
People think of Nick Cannon. You understand?
Right.
So to all the beautiful chocolate black girls of the same complexion as your beautiful daughter Onyx, and even those of every other complexion, yours, mine, and so forth, for you to be the king of childhood actors, which means our daughters love you. They talk about you. I heard kids talk about you the other day in positive manner.
Right.
Do you not feel any guilt at all for the fact you did not provide them with that wholesome example of showing them how much a black woman deserved to be loved on by not choosing one yourself?
So I've got to unpack this in many ways because sitting on a psychologist's couch, yes, I feel guilty.
Okay.
But I feel guilty for multiple things.
Okay.
And what I've learned about, there's nothing wrong with guilt. Doesn't mean shame.
I agree with you.
Guilt means accountability.
I agree with you. I totally agree.
And I say that to say, so symbolism, what our community sees, who they hold up high and revere, is all real. So I always talk about equanimity in that sense of where I must be responsible to, if I faltered in this way, I have to make up for it in this way. So I know I am unsuccessful when it comes to relationships.
Okay. So because Nick admits that, right? It makes me wonder, because I know they said he was going for a rough period in life because he was sick. I don't know if he had some liver kidney issue a few years back. And when he got out of his situation, that's when you hear him start to really go all out and start having like children from different women. And this was like 5 years ago, I think. So before, as he was ending his 30s, going on to right now, he's 43, going 44. He start going on a shoot the club campaign with any woman he seems and likes, and say, "You're gonna have my baby. You're gonna have my baby. You're gonna have my baby. You're gonna have my baby." And he ends up with one time was it like 2-3 kids at the time, 2 married with Mariah Carey, and then probably had maybe another one after that, I'm not sure, to whopping 12 kids in total. And maybe he might have more because he said he was done, but you know he's not done. He ain't gonna talk about more kids he have out there. Because if you're out here having more than 6, and then you have 7, you're gonna have like a whole full house of kids by said done. You know what I'm saying? I predict he might have like maybe he might have 15 or 20 by the end of this before he dies. That we don't know of. He might have like another extra 10, you know, or 9 or 8, you know. But at the end of the day, you know, he was, you know, let's be honest, he's potentially a hopeless romantic, and he just fall love too easy and just say, you know, I'm gonna give you this as my reward, and I'm gonna take care of you. Which, you know, a lot of black men could work better and do better. You know what I'm saying? Oh, Nick had lupus. Okay. Oh, damn, that's bad.
Okay.
Yeah. So, because then, you know, nowadays, you know, and one of the biggest questions of even some women that talk about him having kids by multiple women. I think the biggest issue to me, Nisha, is not the amount of kids he has, because they know he has money, he can cover it. I think the issue with a lot of people that mention Nick is who he's having kids with. You know, is he having kids with actually black women, or is he having kids with other women? You know, that was the biggest issue, because we all know, let's keep real, Nisha, you know it. We have other art. Well, I can't use other artists because artists are swirling as well. They have mixed kids too. You don't see him talk about these dudes having 8 kids. I think they said Future has 8 kids right now, right? By multiple women.
Yeah.
And I know a few of them, some of them black and some non-black. Let's keep it up, right? But I don't hear no talks about that. I don't hear no uprates. But for Nick, he's a little different. And I think the reason why, because they look at Nick as a somewhat goofy square dude, allegedly, right? And he's out here just knocking any woman, and not only any woman, but non-black women, and it bothers a lot of black women. That's why you see them really talk about him and focus on him the most of his action, what he does with his phallus, than every other person, you know. And I get, because he is like, you know, the what they consider the non-select. Regardless of people think he isn't, he is. If you look through his movie career, it don't seem to me like this guy's a rugged dude. He's one of those that like make you laugh. He's like the class clown. You get me? In some of his movies, you watch Nick, you don't know thug vibe. You get one of them, this square dude that just how to make you laugh. That's
I
how.
think too, it's perception. I mean,
Yeah,
with a rapper, you kind of expect them to do certain things.
yeah.
And because when I found out Nick Cannon had all those kids, I was like, what? Nick Cannon? Like, really? So I think that plays into it too. You don't expect someone of his caliber to be having all those kids, let alone for the lives or the people that, well, the women that he's having the kids with. It's kind of very public.
Mm-hmm.
I think that also plays into it, and the fact that yeah, that Future is a rapper, you kind of expect them to do dirty things because they rappers. Like, that's the perception that goes along with them. And the fact that they always have a lot of access to different women, it kind of plays into it too. But I think that people believe that Nick Cannon is a good person.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So him being, you know, a part of, I think, being a good person in the black community, they hold him to a higher standard than they would Future, because he's not a role model at all. I don't know of many people looking up to him as a role model in general.
Mm-hmm.
So that right there, that plays into it a whole lot.
Mm. Yeah. It does play a lot into it. That's why he was more looked at and talked about mostly, the most, you know, because they think of him saying, "How could you, you know,
Right.
how could you, Nick, have so much churn by so much different women? We expect an actual Pookie to do this, you know, not you."
Yeah.
See what Nick did. It shocked a lot of people, you know, because they said out of all people they wouldn't expect something like that, you know. But we
Right.
forgot to say that in Hollywood, anything is possible. Let's keep it up. Anything is possible, personally, you know. And don't leave because a man might have the funds to do one thing that is just only the ones that never seen money and have money do the type of wild stuff like what Nick's doing, and saying, no, this is normal behavior for those that are roughly that's making millions of dollars. I mean, regardless the issue with he almost got in trouble where he think he was going to lose it all, talking about the people of the Jewish tribe. He still was able to manage to survive, unfortunately. So, ever since then he kind of tightened up a little bit, because he's looking at it saying, I got these children, I got all these babies, I gotta keep the money going, because anytime the money stop, it's gonna be my ass, and it's gonna be ass because you didn't marry any of these women. You just let them have your baby. Right. And trust me, they will go to Mr. Charlie and say, Mr. Cannon did not pay for this child. Now the judge gonna look at these chicks as stupid, say, okay, why are you up here asking me to put this man on child support? You know what you're doing, sweetie, and we know what you're doing. You want us to live comfortably, You want to sit in your ass and do nothing. And mind you, I'm not a proponent for a lot of people sitting on the ass personally. I know that sounds effed up. I say, if we're gonna be in a relationship, everybody has to do something constructive. You know what I'm saying? If you think you're gonna be in any relationship, and I'm keeping real, if you're gonna be in any relationship, regardless 50, 50, 75, whatever you want to call it, the scenario is, you as women, you always gotta be productive, right? You work, you do something, you always gotta be doing something. I think the delusion today with modernization and Western women is they get this perception, this delusion that I should not be doing nothing. Matter of fact, I should not be working. I should find a man, he pays everything, do everything, give me a certain lifestyle. And I sit my ass and do nothing at all. I don't know what world people think they're in. Mm-hmm. Not even in human existence, women don't just sit in their ass, don't do nothing. And how we know is the movies talk about how people used to live before we got so modernized. You think women just sit down and don't do nothing? Wash and clean, that's like thing people should normally do to keep themselves up, keep things holistic, keep things clean. Like, remember, if you're a person overall, let's say I'm around a woman and I know she don't clean at all. In my mind, it sends like a psyche to me that this woman is unkept. Because the last thing you want to do is your environment should be no one priority. It should stay at a best healthy state it should be. I shouldn't be coming in your environment if I have the luxury and see clothing all on the floor, dishes in the sink, things look unkept, dirt. That spells and breeds instability and sickness mentally and in the womb. And I've been around one woman that did that. You know what I'm saying? And it hit me a long time ago when I think about it, saying, my God, this woman, she says she was sick and she was right. Because her environment is reflective.
Right.
But you see, a lot of women don't understand, if you're with a man and you don't do these things already without being in a relationship, you're never going to do it. And if you're in a relationship now and you start to slack off, and let's even go as far, let's say let yourself go, like you let yourself, like your weight goes all the way up, continue, and you stop keeping yourself. It's not appealing in the long run. And I think women do this to sabotage themselves because they know in their heart, they think that they don't have to do much, that they arrive and now they can relax. If a man can't relax if he loses his job, don't think it should be the same for you, sweetie. But the problem is how the society is structured. You could play around being relaxed for now. You get me? But if we were outside America, you can't do that. Because there's certain rules in place, and a community will look at you funny. You hear me? A community will look at you funny. They will talk about you. There's some women right now, and I know you keep it to yourself, Nissan, for sake of conversation. But if you're around some women, if you've been around women that talks about other women and their life ain't all that, that's the woman that most likely you don't want to be around. Because now that means you have too much time in your hand, and you most likely, if you let's say you do have a man, she's more eager, depending on how she views your relationship with your man, she'll put herself in front to be the next side chick to sleep around.
Oh yeah.
Single women, unfortunately, in the short and long run, do keep other women single if you're not careful. You get me? Because there's something wrong if your woman, let's say you're in a relationship, she's not, whatever reason, and you hang around her, it becomes somewhat that it will attract something in the relationship, within your own friendship. You know what I'm saying? If you're not careful, because think about it. A lot of people are in a state where they are because they look for somebody, they look for companionship or look for somebody. So let's say you got your thing all in order. You think it will be reflected saying being around someone that's got their stuff together will make you more eager to do the same. That's a lie. Most people that's around people that's doing good, they don't want to see you do good and they want you in the same place. So it's not reflective. It'd been better off as someone that's doing bad. You need to be with people that's doing bad and keep consistent. Because if you're around people that's doing something of significance, it's not going to improve. You're going to stay in the same way. Matter of fact, you work hard, try to question why they doing this, doing that, because you don't see yourself improving. You get me? So when I hear the story say people should be around people that's always progressive, I agree, but I also disagree because most people that's around people that's progressive are not progressive. So being around the circle will not change. They have to change mentally and physically. Being around other people does not better. Because if that's the case, that we all know people that's doing better around our circles. You think it'll follow suit that if something's wrong with them, they'll ask for advice and find ways to be on someone's level or maybe a little better. You get me? That's not true. Anyhow, let me keep playing. I have a few more minutes on the stream. Where is it? Okay. Here you use.
I have a failed marriage. I've had many failed relationships, and this is all based off of society's measurement and
for the record,
yeah,
I was a little jealous of you when you married.
Oh, and one thing, Detroit, you wrote somebody said, "What about R&B singers?" Yes, they too. They're also ones that mess around out here too. Matter of fact, they probably they might easily get more access because women are more attractive to men that sing than rap overall. Remember, those concerts with those Maxwell or the ones that those type of artists is full of women. And once that man steps on stage and start blowing sweet music, these ladies are taking off their drawers. Hopefully they clean their drawers before they throw it at the stage. At the man. I'm just saying. Fair use.
Mariah, because I was
who was light skinned in a mug.
Listen, when I was in college, I mean, this is before y'all time, but when I was in college at Millersville University, Mariah Carey poster was on my wall.
Facts.
When y'all I said, how did Nick get Mariah?
See that? Do you see that? Dr. Omar, I thought you said Black and the Berry Sweeters. Why do you got alleged mixed woman on your wall? I'm saying, man. I'm just saying. Yeah. Fair use. I don't know if you want to say something about that, but that was something new. I did not know Dr. Umar Johnson was faster at with her, but he is. So fair use.
That's what everybody said.
I was in love with Mariah, but go ahead.
And young Moroccan just gave you that right there.
Yes, sir. Yes,
so
sir.
that is fruits of that.
Yeah.
But in the sense, I say all of this to say that's the reason for this space.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Where I believe I got to be held accountable for certain things. But in that sense, to whether it's my daughter Onyx or my other daughters and the daughters of our community, I am an example whether I want to be one or not. And that's why it's like, I don't believe in role models because roles are things that you play. I'm a real model. I'm a real individual. So therefore, there's going to be a lot of things that happen in my life that everyone's not going to agree with.
And I think you're going to rectify it because looking into the future, which only God can see.
Right.
Through your daughter, Onyx, I think you're going to do some great things with your other children as well.
Right.
But through your daughter, Onyx, because of her beautiful, richly melanated, original African complexion, I think y'all going to bring forth some programs, some projects, some organizations, a cartoon,
right.
A line of children's books to build Black girl self. You understand?
Because one thing I do, and I've had these conversations, one thing I do know with my daughter, Onyx, I'm going to have different conversations with her.
Yes, sir. You will. Yes.
Because of the way that society is set
and you're
up.
going to have conversations with them to make sure they remain conscious of their bias when they're relating to their sister.
100%. And they're because again, their mother is probably one of the most beautiful, and
Mm-hmm.
I even forget even saying dark skin,
Yes.
but because of her complexion is dark skin, but one of the most beautiful women.
Yeah, I think the chocolate only adds to the beauty.
Yeah, and to be able to be that with that.
Yes, sir. Yes,
You
sir.
know what I mean? It is so powerful in itself
Yes,
to
sir.
be able to walk in the room and be so striking
I agree.
and so attractive, and to not look like everyone else,
Absolutely.
especially today where every woman on Instagram looks
Absolutely.
exactly the same.
There's nothing more regal,
Yeah.
more honorable, more earth-shattering, more attention-grabbing
Yes.
that when a chocolate black woman walks into the room, and I'm gonna add natural hair to that because that's my bias. But when a chocolate natural African woman walks into a room full of self-confidence and owns it, the whole room bows down. Not literally, but in a metaphorical way, because that right there is God. And what I mean by that, when I say the chocolate African woman is God, she is the original complexion of the first person God put on the planet Earth. And since the black woman is the only woman with the mitochondrial DNA, the Eve gene, and with the chocolate African woman being the most melanated because that's the most original, she is God. And I'm saying
We all
that
come
not to
from
deny
her.
anyone else their divinity.
We all come from her.
Absolutely. We all come from her. And so it's just so hurtful for me being a psychologist, working in the schools where I see the shame that a lot of our chocolate princesses endure because they've been miseducated against the fact that when you look in the mirror, you shouldn't see something ugly.
Right.
You should see the most beautiful being on earth.
Right.
And as I said, I believe you and your princess, along with your other children, y'all going to bring forth something to help shut down the colorism. Because what you do have, Nick, is you have every complexion in your children.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And you know, Dr. Omar had to slide that in a little bit. You know, he has this female following, and they got to donate to the school, so he has to keep that going. You know what I'm saying? I know the game, Dr. Omar. You weirdo, you weirdo, you. And one thing I know, somebody played a video of him next to a white woman with a brother that was having a conversation, which I did not got a chance to download. I was going to talk about that, but the man, if people did not know, for what I'm talking about, is the man kind of set up Dr. Umar Johnson in a scenario that he is in a relationship with a white woman, and he's not, but he just create the environment and the skit for Dr. Umar Johnson to see how he's gonna react. You know what I'm saying? And I'll tell you one thing, I was kind of disappointed, Nisa. And the reason I was disappointed, because anytime if the man takes you back in his house with this woman, you should decline from the start. Why are you engaged officially with this conversation? And he already told you that his mate is non-black. That right there was a red flag. Now a lot of people won't think it's a red flag. He was being polite. No, you don't be polite. If your stance is black man, black woman equals black child, and this man has a non-black mate, you should have said, "Thank you, sir, but I'll kindly decline."
Yeah.
That
Because you
that
can't
would have
be
best.
pro-black if you sleeping with non-black women.
Yeah, and if that's his stance, he should not entertain no sit down, no counsel of any nature of that union. You know,
Yeah.
but he did, and that's one thing. The brother did, which it was messed up, but it was ingenious because now it was going to show how much you really are of that life. You know, you still entertain it. You try to play it off on camera so people don't know, but people know, saying, you know, you went and agreed to really sit down and have the conversation. You know, so right there, it just put a bit stamper, which a lot of people should have paid attention. Because if I was firm in my on my stance, I don't bend. You that's what you are. Okay, thank you. I just kindly decline and keep pushing. That's how you supposed to do it. You don't sit there, give a leg up. Once you do that, now it's gonna put suspicion. You get me? Regardless,
Yeah.
she was sitting right next to you and say, "You can say I'm right there, I'm good." No, it tells me you're hiding something, brother.
I mean, he already is. He's a contradiction because he's a baby mama maker.
Yes, correct, correct.
He speaks against that. Like, the only reason why he's not speaking against it is because right now probably is because Nick Cannon may know that he has children outside of marriage. He didn't marry either one of his baby mamas.
Mm-hmm.
So for him to even sit there, it's kind of like he's sitting on the high horse, and trying to judge somebody that's like calling the kettle black. Because although Nick Cannon has kids outside of the race, you still are creating kids within the race that don't have the family dynamic that he speaks on as
There you
being
go.
true and correct.
There you go. And Nissan, if you remember the conversation we had with him, right? And that
Hmm.
was like a year ago, right?
Yeah.
And not saying I don't understand what he's going through or the struggle, but I gotta be honest that the reason why you did not attain and got the money you say you rightfully deserve is because you're not moving with an actual purpose. You're not standing firm.
Right.
You're just another man, and I'm gonna use the word hotepper out here just slinging seed and busting in all women and not really taking one of them as your own.
Yeah.
You're no different than regular Negroes on the street that's sitting there saying, I'm just going to knock them up. I'm not going to give them no marriage. What's separate? And here's my thing. I love and respect family if you could have the families, right? But
Right.
don't sit here and then just go out here like it's nothing and it's being, just a what they consider a baby maker or just out here just, just having your wild soaking wild oats out here, man and woman, having this random sex and then nothing out of the sex you're getting out of it besides a quick release, you know. I mean, we have too much of that already, and trust me,
Right.
when you out here exploiting yourself, your seeds and your energy like that, you're not producing nothing out of it. And I know most people don't want to hear to produce, but that's the purpose. Eventually you're gonna produce some out of outcome, and if it does, now you get all scared and worried and say, "Oh, what we gonna do?" You know what I'm saying? I don't want nothing to do with you. You want to get rid of it. It comes down to eventually.
Right.
So Dr. Umar Johnson is not no person to be judged about. Well, he is judged, but he's not should not be having this conversation about black families. The last thing I want to hear about most people that's out have already kids already. Last thing they should be focused about black families. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you should mind the families you create, regardless of the outcomes, and then we can have this conversation. I mean, I talk about it. I mean, I don't have it, but I talk about it, and I said it is important if you can attain it. But overall, don't sit there and say this is what everybody's supposed to do, and everybody, unfortunately, is not doing that. You get me? People have
Right.
different intentions. People have different things. They worry about other things. Most of them nowadays, they more focus on, living the best life, be out in the streets for years on years. And eventually, once they get run down, now they say it's time to sit down. And that's unfair.
Right. Broken down bodies and health issues.
No,
But
especially the mind too. Because think about it, there's consequences out here just, out here recklessly. It takes toll on you psychologically.
yeah.
Especially if you already damaged psychologically anyway. Last thing you
Yeah.
want to do is if you're broken in that direction, you don't want to be out here being reckless with your
Right.
organs. Because now you're gonna create more problems. I mean, if you look at most, let's say ladies out here now that want to settle down. I mean, if you have to wait till you're in your mid or early 30s, that tells you waste a lot of your life. You know what I'm saying? You're out here just playing around too much. You get me? I mean,
Yeah.
there's a point in life, if you're still in your 20s, that you should take things a little bit serious. I don't expect it as soon, but some point. You know what I'm saying? I prefer right in the quarter portion of your life, around your 25 at least. You should start taking life a little bit more seriously.
Yeah.
In
You
my
should.
You should. I mean,
Yeah.
besides up to after high school, if you do have to go to college or any other additional education, you could fun a little bit, but take it easy with the fun. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because people talk about other race of people. Last time I checked, other race people don't mess around up to their 30s on the average. So they take life seriously as they reach the midpoint in their 20s to really start really settling out, hammer in. Now today, some might move away from that because they feel that there's no value in it, and they say, I'm just gonna have fun, and a lot of them get their understanding or how they should move by celebrities. And I say you cannot move like a celebrity. Most of these celebrities you see on TV are scripted. They're here to program you, and you're following a script that you should replicate your life by what you see on TV. And
Right.
Lisa, I'm not sure how often you watch TV. I don't watch TV like that no more. I'm not sure if you do still, but I know social media and television has become very problematic for our people, especially black women. And I remember there was an article that was written about social media and the effects of it. I tell you, it is very frightening. That's saying
Right.
most women's programming, how they operate is what they see on television. I don't watch television. I have the internet, and that's as far as it's going to go. I
Right.
control what I see, and most people should be. You should not be still paying for basic streaming service or cable television, or wherever you have, to still get program of what you want to see of how life should be. No,
Right.
you're not a millionaire. You know what I'm saying? That's why we look at when we talk about the dating pool today, why a lot of women ask men to make a whole lot of money now, is because they want to maintain or have a lifestyle.
Right.
And I'm saying, what lifestyle are you trying to seek to have? Well, I want to buy this many products. I want to go on these many trips. Okay, so after all this, where do you have time to save and really buckle down your money to make use of the money you make? If men have
Right.
it, we don't ask these serious questions. I know there was a video right now of one woman complaining that her mortgage went up this year, and she's paying more on a house that she's rent. A mortgage that she's still paying down to eventually, hopefully, own. Right? And I'm thinking you should know what you sign in before you buy these houses. You get me?
Right.
I mean, I don't know if you're still in the West Coast, but
I
we all
am
know
in
if
California.
anywhere where you are far out besides down south or you're around the East Coast, it is very high to live. Cost of living is very high, especially West Coast, very high. So if
Yeah.
a person buys a house, a home, right, and a mortgage, right, you gotta keep in mind that you're gonna be paying a heavy mortgage on a house that's gonna be more than, let's say, if you were renting. And if the renting is more than the mortgage, then yeah, it makes sense, unfortunately. But everything you pay is supposed to make sense where you're able to pay your initial bills and still have hopefully some money left over to make use of your money. If not, you're paying too much and you gotta downsize. What are you doing? You have to
Right.
downsize. And a lot of black people, Nisa, don't want to hear that. You say I got downsize what I'm doing. I gotta stop spending. I gotta spend less. Yes,
Absolutely.
you
How
have to.
how how you gonna have a life? How you gonna save for a rainy day? But they say, according to statistics and things that I've read, that most people don't even have $2,000 in the bank,
They don't have
and
five hundred
that's a
dollars. They don't
problem.
have $500 for a mercy.
Yeah, that's
All not just
crazy.
us, all Americans. You know why? Because we indulge too much. I wish Salchi was here. Guys,
Live above our
you guys got
means.
contact with Salchi. Y'all can hit him out on email if he's around. If he can listen to the stream, I want him up here because he's an accountant and he talks about how people should look at and view money and
Right.
how most societies, Western culture especially, they train Americans to spend, spend, spend. They
Yeah,
don't
to
look
live
at
above our
saving,
means
saving,
constantly.
saving nothing. Even investment, we can't go investment if you can't save the money because you got to save some money to invest anything. Let's keep real.
Yeah, yeah,
You spending. They train you to spend to look good and be good because you spend money instead of being good. So when we look at for the emergency's sake, rather saving 2,000 or even saving as close to $5, you don't have because you throw away all your money after all your bills and paid. What you really have left over? You don't have much, so you take wherever you have and you spend that just to feel good. That's not living.
right. And then if you think about it, most black people, that they don't look up to their parents, they don't look up to the people in their community. They looking up to people like Nick Cannon. They looking up to celebrities as their role models. And
Yeah.
celebrities like Nick Cannon have a lot of kids outside of marriage. Another one of our issues in our community, aside from not saving money, is that we don't use protection. That's
Okay.
why it's such an issue. Like, I know when I was single, it was so many dudes that used to turn me off by thinking they was gonna hop up in the bed with me the very first time we have sex and not use condoms.
Mm-hmm.
It's disgusting. And I'm always so taken aback by that. And there's just so many. And I used to tell them, like, you trust me like that? And they'd be like, yeah, I trust you. But it's not about trust. At the end of the day, it's about that getting that feeling. You want to feel it. And to me, I'm not willing to play Russian roulette with my life like that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just crazy. And the fact that we live above our means, I'm not a celebrity. I'm not making $1 million a year. So I can't spend $1 million a year. I'm gonna stay within my house is 30% of my income as it should be. And it doesn't matter 30 to 40%. If your house is 50% of your income, you can't afford it. If you spending more than I think it's 15% of your income on a car, you can't afford that car. If you don't have money in your savings, you struggling to buy groceries and pay your bills, you're living beyond your means. And that's something that we get accustomed to. And it's something that I never want to be comfortable with. Because what's more important to me is saving money and maintaining the lifestyle that I can afford. I don't go out. If I buy something expensive, believe me, I can afford it. And
Yeah.
I'm really getting out of paying notes for things. And I'm to the point right now where I pay like $1,000 extra so that I can hurry up and pay off my car because I just don't want the car note anymore. So if you're not living to be in a position where you can sit there and say, you know what, I'm about to pay this off like within 9 months because I've been saving, or pay this off right now because I have the means to do so, then you need to rethink your finances and how you spending. Because I feel like I started learning about money when I was buying my first property. I was like, okay, I don't have $20,000, $30,000 saved up. What am I gonna do to save it up? And that's when I started having a different relationship with money. And also, when you start having a different relationship with money, you just start seeing things differently in general. Because as much as Black men talk about they want to be the head of the household, if you can't manage your bank account, how you gonna manage a house?
Yeah, I mean, some men overall, not saying they don't have houses, but mostly it's better they rent because it's more convenient. Because if you 'cause remember, a lot of men, if people don't understand why a lot of men, especially like Black men, don't own homes like that if they can afford, it's because they know what the cost is. You get
Right.
me? And I'm not knocking women if they can get a nest, own a home, but it comes bigger than just own a home. It's like, can you afford the actual first year or months of maintenance of
Oh
mortgage and all that
yeah.
stuff? And let's be honest, there's no conversation about this. They
It's
say
not.
we just own homes if they do own homes, and that's a good thing. Yeah, but you got to spend a whole lot of money, keep up, maintenance, tax. I don't know if you pay. I don't know if it's tax.
Escrow.
Just all that. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a big bill. And trust
Yes.
me, if we look at the median income of Americans, regardless of some of them got it, you don't got like that. I'm sorry, you know,
Right.
you don't got it. So to add more to the car note, I don't own no notes. I actually have a car that's paid off where I can afford it,
Mm-hmm.
I drive by. And the reason why I look at money different and things that I have in my position, that is more convenient and it makes sense. When I know about
It
people once they get
does.
they tax and they get a new car, I'm thinking, are you actually buying a new car or are you paying down to get a car? Because
Right.
the minute that car leaves the car lot, it's depreciated. Not only
It
that,
goes down.
you got to pay the insurance, which insurance always the giveaway, very high.
Mm-hmm.
Because most people don't get limited liability; they get the full insurance.
Yeah.
That's the
Well,
only
if
way.
you have a car note, you got to.
Yeah. I mean, no, you gotta have insurance, but
Mm-hmm.
when you have insurance, you have to have. I mean, if you have a car, you gotta have insurance because
Yeah.
that's the
Absolutely.
law throughout the country for decades now. You get me?
Yeah.
For a reason, right? So now you're paying that bill, and God forbid you got paid for the maintenance of a depends on the vehicle you buy. If you buy not the
Repairs.
right vehicle where you have to worry about repair, that's another bill right there. So obviously, when you look at all the money that right there, the car alone will kill you.
Yeah.
Just owning the car, just having the car, or eventually having the car. And then after a while, when people said they're close to paying off, they're out there, and you know what they do with Nissan? They're out there
Buying
get
another
another car
car.
note.
Yep.
So wait.
I'm over
So
that.
you
Yeah.
tell me that money you spent that could have been put to better use instead of owning a note to a car that really truly is not all that. And don't get me wrong, there's some
Right.
vehicles that's good, but we look at most vehicles that people buy, if they're high end vehicles, they're not foreign vehicles like import vehicles. You're spending too much money on not only the note but the upkeep.
The
If it's American,
financing.
yeah, if it was an American car, you're definitely gonna spend some goddamn money maintaining that shit. You get me?
Yeah.
Including a
Yeah.
foreign car, especially if it's a import
Especially.
European car. Be careful.
Yeah. Yep.
So and I'm not going into because I'm not the finance person, but I tell people many times you gotta live smart and live proper to your means at least. You should not
Mm-hmm.
overindulge. and this, I'm not only speaking this for the men, but I speak this with our ladies, because
All
ladies
of
have the
us.
issue spending. Like they're spending because rather is self-esteem issue, or they want to feel like they're rich, but they're not. So they got to show the illusion that they're doing well. And we all know you're struggling when you have to spend that much money. So let's keep going with this tape. Fair use.
Saying to you, I'm charging you in the future,
Yeah.
because you got a long way to go.
Yeah.
Turn that.
Yeah.
You understand me?
Facts.
Into a weapon of mass construction to destroy colorism in our community.
I love it. Can I offer this up? Just because I'm sitting on your couch. I'm right here. I need the help and the understanding. And again, by no means is this an excuse, but I want to unpack it. Could it be that my mother, who is of mixed race,
Okay.
and because I was thinking about this when you asked me, am I, have I been programmed or conditioned to go after a certain type of woman? If my mother, who is a lighter skinned mixed woman, if that was my example as a matriarch, and then even in her mother being of another race, and on my father's side, his mother having, as we all know, because, and then as we go down our lineage, we all gonna be mixed with something. And I know as a, Pan-Africanist, there's an idea of holding on to the diaspora.
Yes, sir.
But the African American, and which is a whole different classification, a black person in America is mixed with everything.
Right.
So for anyone to sit and say,
but those mixtures does not take away from the fact you're still African.
100%.
Because we're the strongest DNA.
100%. So if people say, again, because you said you got a lot of this ideology because you look and see what you came from your mother.
Yes.
So if I look and my mother looks and has the complexion of a look that is maybe similar to a lot of the mothers of my children.
Okay.
There's been a lot of conversations where they talk about, my mother and Mariah.
Okay. Do they look similar in complexion?
Yes.
Okay.
They look like they cut from the same cloth.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
And various, if we're just talking about complexionism, psychologically, would you think that maybe is that more of the reason?
It definitely plays a role. Because I was going to ask you.
Yeah.
Now, before Omar goes in deep, you saw the picture of Nick Cannon's mother.
Yes.
She is not mixed race, regardless. I mean, if she is, that's cool. When we look at Kamara, black people look at people out of their appearance, and we could say she probably have more look like you complexion wise overall. You get me?
Yeah.
But she is not no mixed person. Unfortunately.
I mean, when he say mix, okay, because my grandmother is an American Indian. My mom my grandfather is Creole. Is that what he mean? But to me, that's not even mixed. And that's crazy that he's saying that when we just saw the picture of her. He said she looks like Mariah Carey. That's a little far. That's delusional right there, because that's not true.
Yes, it is. It is. We all know. Let me tell you something. When I first stumbled across Mariah Carey years ago, actually, what's back when she came out in the late '80s, and when I heard about Mariah Carey when I was a kid, when I saw her, what she looked like, because we all listen to her music.
Right.
I thought I was looking at a white woman.
Me too.
That's a person that's actually passing for white.
If she even black, that could.
There you go. And everybody questions you even black, because we try to scour and look the internet. So they said her mother is, I think, black, and her father is not black.
Yeah, she said her mom is an opera singer, but when I saw a picture of her mother, she did not look black to me.
Okay. Well, somebody they said one of the parents black. So I didn't know which. I was confused which one is it, with the mother or father. But I look at her, and if there's pictures, if Mariah look like she's passing for white, she's like Meghan Markle. You get me?
Right.
And Meghan Markle got a black mother, but the problem is her mother is so fair skinned with blonde. I mean, I don't know why black women still use blonde, but that's another story. Blonde locks. You didn't know if the mother might be black because she's so light skinned.
Right.
And her father is obviously a different race. So when we look
Yeah,
at
he's
Megan, if
Caucasian.
she didn't get her hair done, she look like she a white woman. I'm sorry. So
That's true.
they're passing for alleged white, but they have some form of black in them. So with Nick Cannon saying that him and his mom and Mariah look same, now that you're stepping into insanity, bro, you're very delusional.
Right.
I put you and your mother
Seriously.
next to each other. I'm not gonna look at no two mulattoes.
Uh-uh.
I'm gonna look at a black woman here and a alleged black woman here, mixed woman here. But like I said, Dr. Omar is going to explain more deep. But see, one thing with the problem with the one drop rule, where a lot of people get misconceptualized, they feel that as long as they get some black gene, or if I was dark skinned and I produce outside the race or the culture, and my children don't look like me, that they're going to still be black. And then if they produce some less than black, they're going to still be black. So obviously, you think because you put the one seed, that's it, they're black forever. That's the psychology a lot of black people want us to understand, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, really, if that was the case, why would you think white people that run this country alone, and probably outside America, it probably is different and maybe the same. If that was the case, you think they wouldn't be so concerned of mixed breeds becoming black?
Right. Because you still black. I don't care if, I mean, the thing about it is you can still be black, but you are still diluting the blackness.
Yeah, you lose.
So
Yeah,
to be black, yeah, I mean, like I just told you what my grandparents are, I still consider myself to be full black because to me those are black
yeah, you're
race.
black. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's black to me. I think that people's perception of race, we need to understand that sometimes when you go outside of what is considered black, then you are diluting down the race. That's just what it is. You cannot have mixed race children and consider them children fully black because they aren't. They are black with, it's black comma. It's
Mm-hmm.
not just black period.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, yeah. So let's hear what Omar's answer to this is.
Earlier in this conversation, uh, do you feel that your mother or grandmother
Right.
could have influenced your taste in women?
Right.
Because our mothers do influence us.
Yeah.
Right? Because my mother happens to be my complexion. In
Right.
fact, I look more like my mother than any of her other 6 children.
Okay.
The mother is the first teacher, as we all know.
And I said, my
Right.
mother is, light skin, curly hair.
Right. And she's still with us in the
Yeah,
flesh.
yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
So if I were to have a conversation with your queen mother, I would ask her, not only does your son possibly prefer women of your complexion because you are his first example of love. Our first love affair is our mother, right?
Absolutely.
But I would also ask her, is it possible, in addition to you simply being his first love affair, spiritually speaking, did you pass down core beliefs to your son as it relates to women and complexion? In other words, was it purely by example of her existence as your mother?
Yeah.
Or were there certain beliefs and messages she gave to you and values based on skin tone? Could she have inadvertently transferred some of her beliefs onto you in terms of white is better or prettier or lighter girls are more?
It's by
you know what I
because
mean?
we probably never had that conversation.
Right.
But it's just the example of watching what she was
Right.
assimilating
Right.
to
Right.
where to
Right.
the idea of what
Right.
society shows us.
Right.
You know what I mean? As we sit back and talk about where you say you had posters of Mariah on the wall.
I had post of Mariah.
Mariah and
one
Halle.
of the things I respected about Mariah,
Yeah.
I don't know her whole history,
Yeah.
but one of the things I did respect about Mariah, because what happened is when rest in peace Whitney Houston kind of receded,
Yeah.
because I was Whitney,
Yeah.
and Mariah was the closest thing to her. So I went from Whitney to Mariah. But one of the things I respected about Sister Mariah, especially in this atmosphere where so many mixed race African children would rather be called biracial than black, Mariah told the world, I'm black.
Yeah.
You understand me?
Facts.
Because if she didn't, that poster would have never been up.
All right, well, let's go there. All right, Mariah did identify her African heritage, which is cool. This is fine. And I think Jake wrote, I think Mariah, what he wrote? I think Mariah is Irish, Black, and African. Yeah, from the side, yeah, she's around that. My thing is this, she identified and that's fine. That's cool. Um, no, Norm, as you know now, she they said she did got married to some white billionaire from what I'm hearing,
Yeah.
and it tells you she's still able to get certain men. Obviously she looks um exotic, so she'll pass around a little bit, but overall, she's very rare and an exception to the rule. Most people nowadays, if they're mixed, they're not gonna be so eager to identify. Unfortunately, so unless society said this is what you are, and they gotta accept that one drop rule. But if they had the option, they would not really identify with black. You know what I'm saying? You know, personally, because most black people now that's mixed, they don't see the value of it. You know what I'm saying? No value at all. So they don't want to sit there identify in their mind the losing team. They rather identify what's winning, which is kind of weird, but I get it. But overall, I give my some credit. She identified that, and like Nick, not Omar said, if she knew that, she would not have the poster. But Omar, let's keep real. You talk about the black skinned women, the dark skinned queen. You should have no light skinned people you idolize on your poster, bro. Come on, man. And you gotta be consistent, man. That's why man gotta be careful, man. Like him. You can't say these things and then we find out, say, you idolize certain people. Even to the point with the interview I told you with when the brother was alleged that he was married to a white woman, and the issue that he want Omar to do is to help fix his marriage because his white wife was cheating on him. And I'm thinking, wait. Mind you, is something he creates. It's not real, right? But I'm saying, is it ironic that if you're a black man, you're in a relationship, interracial relationship, and your wife is cheating on you, right, like that, and you stay, you are in a cuckold union. You get me? That means if you might go out and may mess around, but if you do that, something's gonna happen to you. But your wife is out here deliberately doing it, and she's happy. And she told you, said, "Well, you knew that when you met me. So if you knew and you still dealt with her and go as far as put a ring on it, something's wrong with you. Your self-esteem, brother.
Right.
You marry someone that is not only enjoying you but enjoying the fruits of other men, willingly. And God forbid if you have children, now you gotta check if those kids are yours because that means she's gonna be busting wide open. She's gonna let these random dudes shoot the club up in her mouth, in her all her holes, which I heard they say that four holes, which I don't know what the fourth hole is. It's new to me, but usually I find usually people use every other objects, but that's another story. But if your wife is doing that and you stay, that's on you, brother. And
Yeah.
I'm gonna look at you as a cuck. I don't know if I can call you a simp because you beyond a simp now. You're in a very weird relationship that your wife could do anything. She got your wallet and she can get access to other men. It's actually a pipe dream. It's a dream to a lot of women, Western women. If you think about this, son, you hear some women, they really want to think, say, I should have many men for every situation. I should have men for lunch money, for dinner money,
Mhm.
for the rent, all this stuff. And I'm saying, sweetie, you're in a weird pseudo polyamorous relationship.
Right.
And let's be honest, you're not gonna. And if a dude doesn't really catch or understand what he's getting into, he will not stay. A lot of women really want to condition modern women, men today, Nisha, to be official cucks and be in these type of relationships, or they call situationships, where they can have as a harem of men, which is easy to get if you're a woman, and have them do these small things and fake you don't have to do nothing in return. Like I said, they just give it because they want to give it to no. A man gives you this, he wants some out of the deal. He's not gonna give you this money and you it's free money. It's
Right.
welfare. Anytime someone gives you something, they want some in return. And that's how life goes. You got
That's
to
true.
guac them. And there's always a saying that men tell women or just young women in general, or if their parents or teachers say, don't take nothing from no man because your man wants something. You know what I'm saying? You must give back to him. Regardless, he might if it says no, you give back to him because a man wants something. If he's giving you something, especially when it comes to currency, money, you know.
Yeah. I
Don't
don't even, when I was single, I didn't even let dudes buy me drinks at the club because now they feel like you with them all night.
mm,
So, I mean, just something as small as that is just an example. Yeah, no. I was never that type. Not saying that I'm not girls. I mean, you do what you do, but at the same time, like you were saying earlier about girls who just sit around. I'm sorry, I live in California. We gonna be struggling if it's not two incomes.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm not with the struggle life. That's not for me. But also I'm also not with lying to dudes and trying to gain their resources just to sit around for what? Like, to me, that's boring. What are you doing that you can't go to work, or you can't be working on your own vision? Not saying that you got to work for someone. You can work for yourself, but at the same time, what are you doing all day within 24 hours that you just can't go clock in or go get your hustle on and get you some money?
Yeah. Something productive, you know what I'm saying? Dude, like usually
Yeah.
if let's say a woman's by herself, anyway, and let's say she's not getting money. Well, the second best thing you could do is you indulge in nature, plant, get inspired, be creative. See, that
Yeah.
opens up the possibilities of doing other things. But if you
Right.
that's not a creative person or you're stagnant and you want things given to you on a platter, then you're stagnant.
Yeah.
Think about this, Nisa. You know why OnlyFans is so popular to a lot of women that do have an OnlyFans? Is because in their mind, I don't have to do much just to get this fiat currency. It's not a form of not only prostitution but laziness.
I feel
I'm
like
going,
they do a lot
yeah. I mean, they do a lot. I mean, let's be
more
honest.
than what I would do.
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah. Someone might show their feet. Someone might play with their body.
Okay.
Whatever the case may be. I mean, yeah, they're doing some, but let's be honest, they're doing something for something minor, for a plethora of men that will watch it for a subscription of $4.99. You
Okay.
know what I'm saying? $4.99. So they don't have to do much. It's like it's enough. I look at it as a form of laziness to me, because if you could sit on your ass and just do that, which anyone could do, you'll make some money, but you're not gonna make a lot of money, because there's
Right.
data showing about OnlyFans that a lot of people that think that if any woman that looks good or halfway decent, they're gonna make a whole lot of money on OnlyFans. You're sadly mistaken.
Mm.
You are sad, and the reason I'm saying it's sad mistake because one, you're marketing yourself, and you have to have a portal to let people know that you're marketing and selling yourself.
Right.
The time I say to talk to me, you must hit my OnlyFans. I'll respond there. So you're asking random dudes to pay you $5, whatever, to hit you in your DM to talk to you.
That's a
Okay.
lot to me. I don't
And,
want to talk to dudes all day.
and think about it. It's not only a lot, but what the fuck what conversation I'm gonna have with you for a subscription? There's nothing that
Right.
I'm gaining for the conversation besides I want to smash. I'd rather say, yo, we're gonna hit, to get right to the point. You get me? Instead of sitting there saying, "Oh, I love you," this, come on, man, that's some stuff. This is stupid. It's become stupid. Let me finish this. Hey, Ray, how you doing? Fair use. Because this thing's almost done anyway.
But that takes me to another question for you.
Yeah.
As you navigate that terrain with your children,
Yeah.
will Nick Cannon be unapologetic about letting them know they're black?
100%.
Okay.
That's easy.
Or will you get pushback from their mothers?
Nah, they're black. They know, again, because of the
Okay.
society.
Okay.
My children are black, and
Right.
that's even that, because to me that
But
conversation.
are they mothers on board?
But no, but that's that conversation
Okay.
about generational wealth that we got to throw out the window, because
Okay.
everybody says, oh, if you go date outside your race, then where's the general wealth conversation?
Okay.
Once they have me as the father, as whether it's the law or whether it's the one drop rule or whether in America,
Yes.
you are black.
That's true. But do their mothers support?
100%.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they have no problem with you letting them know you're black. Okay.
They're
Okay. Because sometimes
no, they want to be called mixed, or I'm just much as this, as that.
sometimes the non-African mother of the mixed race African children are not comfortable with. In fact, I had a debate. It was respectful with a white woman at one of my lectures in Tallahassee or Tampa.
Right.
And we debated because she says, I do not want my daughter, who has a black father, I do not want her identifying as black. I want her identifying as mixed race. And you know what I had to explain to her?
What did you explain?
Because you are racist. You cannot admit that a black child came from your womb. And because of your own core beliefs about African inferiority, you would rather raise your child with a lie that she's mixed race. then raise her with the truth that she is black. You're forcing her to live a confused life because you don't want to bear your shame.
Why?
And guess what?
What?
She peacefully bowed out after
She had
that.
to, but this is my only question to that is, why can't you be both? And I only say that because at the core, the foundation, you're black.
Absolutely.
There's no other question.
And the reason you can't be both, you still have a white parent.
Right.
You never, and I tell mixed race children this, you don't ever disrespect your mother. That is your mother. You tell the world, I don't care if she's black, white, purple. She brought you here, that's mom.
Yeah.
You understand? But racially, spiritually, genetically, anatomically,
society,
you are African because we are the dominant DNA.
Right.
And we are the birthers of the other group. So when you say I'm half of something that came from your blackness,
right.
it doesn't even make sense.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? But a lot of our mixed race children are so confused, Brother Nick, because they have the non-African parent trying to hypnotize them into believing the world is going to see them as biracial. When your children walk down the street, and I know you know this, so I'm not teaching you nothing. When your children walk down the street, nobody says there goes a half black child. There goes a black child.
Exactly.
It doesn't matter how fair skin.
You get pulled over from the police.
Absolutely.
Get your black ass out the car.
Absolutely. But
get
again,
your mixed race ass
going
out the car.
back to the mission I see you having in your future.
Yeah.
As I said, with your children, y'all going to be able to do a lot to combat.
All right. Let me switch back here. Yeah, man. Normally when we talk about white women or non-black women, she know what it is. She know what she has created. The one drop rule is the one drop rule for a reason. You could identify as mixed, but in the society, depending the admixture, if she's not passing for white, the side's gonna look at her as black. That's how it goes, you know. And she had to bow out after Omar had to explain to her. But that's how most women, especially non-black women, will think and feel if people ask the honest question, and really white people in general, you know. So, because most of them are a majority in this country. You know what I'm saying? If they have a biracial child, they don't want their child identified as black in this country. Personally, you know, overall, and that's why they want to push the mixture. There's mix in the box when you could sign like signature and all that stuff, but really truly, and I think in Europe, especially London and stuff, they do have a thing where you can call this a mix, but that's just being nice. But you see, America, they're different. They don't subscribe to that, because if you're mixed, that means you could bounce one side here and you could jump on the side. No, they force you to pick a side.
You could be other.
I mean, yeah,
yeah.
But yeah, so I mean, but like Omar said, that he does see some future to Nick from having this conversation. It's like a few more minutes, but I'm not gonna run more of this. I'm gonna bring one person up, and I'm gonna end this. Let me see who's up here. All right, JJ, you're up here. I'm gonna give you at least 5 or 6 minutes to say what you have to say, because I'm gonna eventually wrap this up. I don't want this to be another hour. Go ahead.
All right, no, I ain't gonna be no hour talking, brother. Thanks for letting me come up, man. It's a question I mentioned in the chat that us men need to ask women instead of whether they bring it to the table. Ask them, "Are you a truly virtuous woman?" Only a wise man would know to ask that question. And I just wished I known that a question to ask women 20 years ago, and I'm 44. And I look at a woman's appearance, body language, appearance, meaning how she's dressed, whether or not she has any obvious tattoos. I don't like any tattoos on women and these old body piercings other than the earrings. I can accept the earrings. I see a lot of these studs in these noses. That's a turnoff.
You mean a bull's ring? I think that's what they call it, bull's ring. I think that's what they call it, a bull's ring.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Go ahead. All right.
And the cattle rancher, cattle farmer, whether it's horses, bulls, or hogs, they brand they livestock. Why do you want to wear something like you somebody's cattle? That's pagan for one thing. Then judge a woman by the kind of music she listens to. It can be good. I like good music, but if it's from certain people that when it comes to music, I listen to. I listen to different kinds of music. I listen to music from black and white folks, whoever. If it makes sense, if it seems to, something I can understand, reason with, understand, and sing along with old as music, I listen to a lot of that, and a little bit of today's music.
Mhm.
Not much of modern music, but I'm 44. Uh, I scream my music. I scream people. I scream people in various different ways, spiritual, whatnot, and all this stuff. Us men need to ask women instead of what do they bring to the table. You need to ask, are you a truly virtuous woman? And watch for the typical red flags to pop out like toast in the toaster oven. Or if she's a truly virtuous woman, she would understand and be dignified with her answer and respectful to you as a man. If she's offended by that or she don't even know what that is, run. Leave her alone. A non-virtuous that means she's a non-virtuous woman anyway. And then a non-virtuous woman only deserves people like the hypocrite Kumar, uh,
Mhm.
P Diddy. Men, in other words, men who don't care about right and wrong, they play both sides. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of this mess. I got to
Mhm.
speak up and call it out.
Okay. Um. Okay. All right. All right. Overall, that's a
And
fair
wait
question.
a minute. And
Go
I'm
ahead.
tired of men aiding and abetting the wicked women doing this stuff, destroying our community as a race. I'm tired of it. And then these men that aid and abet that mess. That's really what I want to hammer down on real hard.
Mhm.
You got to drive
Okay.
some points home. I've seen things. I've been all over the country driving trucks, and I've been driving trucks for 21 years, and I've seen such a decline. It's like crumbling like skyscrapers in a powerful earthquake, and especially in the last 10 to 5 years, or 5 to 10 years. It's exponentially, especially in the last five. I've seen a lot of decline lately, but these last days, and I had my heart set on knowing that, and all these natural disasters, whether they man-made or the earth is fighting back in rebellion, birth pains. I see all this stuff going on, and people need to wake up. The threat of World War III, which is the same Armageddon.
Yeah.
When people gonna wake up and see what's going on around them instead of being distracted with all this celebrity garbage?
Yeah.
When?
Well, JJ, they're not going to, bro, because the world is a wicked place, and distractions are comfort for sheeps. But other than that, the- but thank you for coming up, JJ. Who else is? Oh, no one's listening. Someone dropped down. I'm probably
Well, I
going
ain't
to
no sheep,
go
and I
ahead. Go ahead.
apologize. I
Yes,
was
yes,
just
yes,
gonna
yes.
say I ain't no sheep, and I proved it by everything I said already. And I
Oh yeah,
thought,
I know, I know, I know, I know. I mean, you're licking and hitting people with the scriptures, so you already know what has been revealed. So I know you're not no sheep here. So all right, Jay. Thank you for coming up. I wish you came up earlier. When we were going for this, but that's cool. It's good that you're up here anyway. Thank you.
yeah,
Thank you anyway.
I wanted to, but I waited, and I admired the lady for speaking on some things, and I respected her time, and I like to hear her speak more. Um, and when us men ask a woman, is she a virtuous woman? If she don't know what that is, it's gonna be it's gonna intimidate her probably.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay.
That's
Okay.
that's the first red flag right there. If they don't even know what it is, that's a problem. If they
Yeah.
know what it is and don't want to honestly answer, they can't give you an honest answer. You're still gonna have red flags pop out.
Mm. Well, you gotta keep in mind, JJ, majority of any woman, when you ask questions, if they're not really want to learn what it is or they have no idea, it is the role of sermon to slightly educate, because not everybody's gonna know terminologies and words and what defines a meaning. They could probably give you an explanation what they think it is, but when we're dealing with the actual literal definition term of what is a virtuous woman,
Yeah.
it's a different element.
Patience
But
is a virtue. That's an example. You know, they heard that before.
yeah,
Woman of virtue, woman with good virtue, good values,
hmm
good morals, good instincts, spiritually, socially, and all that. That's what a virtuous woman is. Now, if they don't even know how to do that, they won't know how to answer the question.
hmm
Or if they do know how to answer and they ain't of it, it would, it would be like this. I've already experienced this. I don't
hmm
play no games with them. Yeah, you're right. I've had some things revealed to me, and that's why I asked this question to women
hmm
that wind up in a chat with me on some level, whether it's in person or social media. And I'm 44, and I ain't got no kids. I ain't never been married,
okay,
never been a
okay,
felon, had no STDs. I got a dead fiance. She cheated on me. I took her to the hospital. I was out of town. I left her at home
all right.
with her
I'm
cold.
JJ. I don't want to go into another.
I
Hold
just,
that
I
for.
just,
Yeah, yeah. I say as much as I do want to hear more, but I'm rushing for time, and I'm actually feeling a little weary right now.
we'll
Come on
talk.
here. Yeah, yeah, go. Yeah,
We'll talk
yeah.
about it next time because there's a lot of powerful things I can say from personal experience. I see, and
Yeah, sure. I'm gonna come on a stream to let some men, if they're really true to the channel, to tell their story. 'Cause I do want to hear this, but we'll talk soon. All right, brother.
yeah, yeah. Thanks for having me.
I do appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you.
Mhm.
Everybody, that's JJ. As you know, he writes enough scriptures on the chat room, and you can read all the scriptures here. But yeah, but that's pretty much it of the video. Nisha. I'm probably do this again soon because at times I know you're a busy woman, so to have you up here on a good stream, and you're not no stranger of the pro black side of things, but
Right.
I mean, I have my own rationale and conclusion about any movement we're doing moving forward. It's good that we have these things that we create, but it has to really be about something at the end of the day. And when I
Right.
look at things like what Omar's doing, any black man, if they talking about they in that direction pro black, you better be living proof of this. I mean, it's not only
Absolutely.
words, but hopefully some action. I don't not black people being respectful of within the race. We should have a healthy sense of identification within the race. But if we're not pursuing that, then we're moving out here like we're white people in blackface. And that's not gonna go far at all. Ain't gonna go
Right.
far. And not go far. One important question I do want to ask you, Nisha says that up here. Um, your views about the one they call Puff Daddy and what we've seen throughout the whole week now since this happened. Was it Monday? I think it was Monday.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's your short and overall take on what you see about this dude?
You talking about the well, you
Yeah,
know
yeah, yeah.
what,
Now,
honestly,
now that we're seeing a man that's fallen, and they say the guy's a billionaire. I'm gonna double check his money, where he falls. I think he might be a
right.
billionaire, but let me double check. But go ahead,
He
your
better
thoughts.
be
Your
as
take.
long as he been in the industry. But you
Mm,
know what? I kind of have double feelings about it, right? I feel like that one, there's an attack on black men of a certain stature in general. But I also feel like if he is out here doing those things, victimizing people, at, doing the things that he's doing, then he should be held accountable for it. But if he's not and it's just an attack on black men, then I'm not for it. Cause I mean, I'm all about my black community. I'm all about my black men, especially because
mm,
they're the leaders of our communities. And when I
mm,
say a lot of the times that our kids are following the wrong role models, this is why I say that because of them leading them astray in certain ways. If he's out there doing these types of things to other black men,
mm,
who are we as a community, especially when other people are standing by idly and allowing it to happen? Like, it's not okay.
mm. Yeah, I mean, I don't like the man because, as you know, I don't like anybody that is a pogey man, for lack of better words. I'm not going to detail why I call it pogey man, but I think he did a lot of harm to a lot of his artists personally, and because of that, and they said that throughout, I don't know if it was like last year or whatever, they had most of the artists that he signed under give back their so-called catalogs, which is not really worth much now. A lot of people don't understand. The only catalogs that were worth some were Biggie Small and maybe 112, I believe. Could be wrong, right or wrong. Those are the only catalogs I see that of any value. All the other artists, not saying they're bad, but if he gave me back your catalog, I mean, you might make some, but it's not really worth much, personally.
Right.
Because
Right.
to have a useful catalog, people gotta still play your music. And there's not one music I can name off my head right now out of the people that Bad Boy signed throughout 30 years that is still consistently playing on the radio, unless it's like
Right. Like
Biggie
Faith
Small.
Evans.
Oh yeah, Faith Evans. Yeah, her catalog's still going strong. Yep. And one thing with him, one thing with those are especially like Faith and stuff that they all got it back, but he make them sign some stupid disclosure to not talk anything about what he has done, and that's cool. But the problem with that is it's still gonna bite you in the butt because eventually, if you have a track record of doing some dirt, you know people, you did too much things, and when they're ready to collect, they decide to collect. And I'm going beyond Cassidy. The government keeps tabs on a lot of people's activities in this country. So
Absolutely.
including the Fed. You told me stories when you went through some things and they were you felt they would watch you and they were like really watch you. And I'm not gonna go back to that story right now because it's not part of the show. But it lets you know that they watch the smallest person to the biggest person. So with the Feds and Homeland Security go in and raid not one place but all his home. And the word on the street is, to people don't know, PD did not left the country. I got wind from another podcast that he's still in the United States.
Okay.
So I'm not. I thought he left, but from what I'm hearing, that's just bullshit. That's hogwash. He did not. He didn't skip out her. He's still here.
Right. I don't know if you know, but they also the dude who is who made the last claim that got his house raided by Homeland Security.
Yeah.
He is now naming Cuba Gooding Jr. as a person that tried to assault him as well.
Oh wow, I did not know that. I know that. Okay. Ooh, ooh, yeah. A lot of people that, and mind you, a lot of people that work for PD are hitting lawsuits with that man. So it's not only they see certain evidence that they got from his compounds, because they got something when they went in hard. They got some tapes of him, and all this stuff with children. I mean, they call it trafficking and stuff. My thing is this: they're cleaning house right now, and he's one of the bigger artists. Oh, what's
Yeah.
good? Chill. Hold on. I want her to come up because she covered this as well. If you have time, Jay, Chill from podcast, can you please come up briefly? Chill with Jay. Yeah, she my wife. They got some on you. And I remember a guy that used to work for the feds that has this podcast. The one that the famous one, F and F. He said that and told one caller, because one caller got mad at them because they're making jokes and fun about P. Diddy. He said this: if Homeland Security, FBI went in and hired you, it's not the first time they went and got evidence and tabs to go in. And when they go in, they don't go in soft, they go in hard, which they
Yes,
did
they
Monday.
do.
So people should understand, you gotta be very cautious. If anytime you get them type of people on you, it the jig is up. It's only a matter of time. You're gonna have to start talking. You might do some serious time. And the way that's gonna save you now is you're gonna have to start opening your mouth.
Yep.
That you're gonna have to start, and let me tell you something. PD, it might have a father that was a gangster, but we're gonna see how gangster you really are if they're gonna put the pressure on you. And trust me, they will put the pressure on you. Because I don't see you as a man. And let me wind back. Yeah, I do see you doing time in jail, and you won't mind because you like dabbling into brothers, backsides. So unfortunately, and that's not no joke. That's a legit thing. Because think about it. I hear stories from a lot of rappers. They talk about how puppy wants to take them out, buy things for them. That's weird. No heterosexual man is going to say, I'm going to take you out to go splurge on and buy things. Excuse me? A man will probably buy his woman some things, but not no nigga. And
Yeah,
50
not
Cent
at
said that
all.
on the interview. And he had that's why 50 Cent hated Puffy. When Puffy came out like that, I would hate him too. What's this? Yeah, but there's more to prison than a free buffet line of men. They'll be fighting too. Yeah, they'll be fighting. You know, if you want to come up, Jay, come up, Jay. I know you have time. Just come up and chill with your boy just for a little bit. I have a short question. You can come up, Jay, chill podcast. Come up on the panel. Yeah. So, like I said, yeah, yeah, that's why 50 don't like. And I said this earlier before you came up that his baby mama that he his last baby mama was, having her way with some of the gentlemen before he came across 50. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, she's even implicated with Puff Daddy too.
That's why 50 now is trying to get full custody of his kid. And right now, what she's doing, which typically most women, well, a good portion of women will do, she's putting a smear campaign on 50 saying that, well, you took the pussy from me. You are me. Right? And I'm saying, wait. How many times have he actually took you and took that? He took it every time he was with you because you were in a relationship with him for years. And now going relationship, he had his kid. And now the rumor is you didn't not only you want one kid, you want 2 kids from 50. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
So it's saying to me, and mind you, I'm gonna tell y'all a secret. Like most of these artists, like 50 or anyone, they're not gonna be in the business marrying a lot of women. Let's keep real. He probably tell a strip, say, I'm gonna take care of you. That's all. And for a woman that is non-black, hell yeah, she's down with that. As long as you pay for my living and take care of me, I'm good. But remember, he's not paying no child support from that chick. I don't think so. I could be wrong. So now for her to say that, right? She knows if she goes and said now she protects herself to still get that money from 50. But this nigga knows, say, how foolish you could be as a man. I mean, I'm not saying who you should pick, but the women you dealt with, and remember the last woman he dealt with that was a lawyer. I think she's a Cuban Lust. I think Cuban Cabana. They were in a relationship for a few years, and she decided to part ways with the relationship. Did you know that?
No, I didn't.
And the reason why she part ways with the relationship because in her mind she wants an actual fish. She wants to be married and have an actual family. And most black men should know this. If you deal with women that's from another culture, that especially Latin culture, they're not in the business of playing house. Especially ones that's educated in America. The last thing they want to do is play house and have your baby and this be baby mom. No, they don't want to do that. They're not doing it. I don't care how much money. This woman, and she's in, how old is she now? She's probably 28. She was born in 1996. So she's like 21-year difference from 50 Cent. You think a woman that young, and she's not a bad looking woman, but she has bigger plans and she wants to be more than just a girlfriend. And 50's not gonna make her be a wife. So she decided to end the relationship and move on. You get me? Which is smart
Yeah.
because a woman that young and you're a 20-year difference, the last thing you want to do as a man, if you're that way of an age gap, you should not be keeping a woman along that straight along for long. My view is this with a situation like this. If you're a man, and I gotta say this myself, if any age, no greater, if I'm gonna, let's say, waste time, listen to me good, Nisa. I keep it to no greater than 2 years at most. If I was going to take it serious, say might put a ring on it might be even before the second year, at least. You know what I'm saying? Some of a timetable. You get me? But I'm not going to stray along beyond that. Most
Right.
dudes, they will be. You hear stories like this. I don't know if you've been in a relationship like this. They'll be around you for years and years and years, and they won't think of making anyone a wife.
No, that's not my experience.
Okay, I know. Okay, good. Yeah, so most dudes, they will do that. They will straddle along as long as they can, as long as they feel that they can still be in some relationship, get access, and that's it. Once you cut off and you want something more, obviously a man's going to stay or go. And usually some men will fold and they'll try to marry because they want to lock it in. To me, it's good, but it's also bad for a man doing that, because if she has to force you to do something that you don't want to do, it's not gonna last long. I'm sorry. You gotta know what you want. If she want marriage and she's thinking about it, and you don't think about it, you take your time with her, and eventually you're going to send her on her way. Don't waste more time than this. For the sake of, especially depending on her age, especially her 20s. Yeah, you don't want to be wasting her 20s being, and you in the relationship wasting her 20s being in that relationship. And I think with Cuba, Lust, or Cuban Cabana, where her name is, she sees in her future that she don't want to be in this relationship longer than she has been. I think she's invested almost 3-4 years in that relationship. And a woman that's in her mid going late 20s, she wants to be wife and she don't want to play house. Unlike the last relationship what PD had, oh sure, she don't mind playing along as long as she's in a relationship and she's getting paid and flew out. She's fine with it. You get me?
Yeah.
But I think she did something wrong to make in the relationship, because think about it now. Now that you're on the market out here, you're not even married right now, but you and 50 have a child. Now that he knows this and he does not P. Diddy, the last thing you want to do is keep paying you while still being in some form of what do you call a relationship or so-called co-parent with you. And 50, to be honest with you, this is the first time I see if he's really serious expressing he wants to be sole custody of his son, which I have no problem with that. The problem with him, Nisha, is, brother, you're going to be very much involved with your kids now. You see what happened to your son, your older son? The reason why your son act the way he did, because you're not involved enough. If you and your baby mama are not in good terms and it's really that bad, you got to find some way to either do two things. If she's not playing ball, you should take full custody after a certain age of the boy. Your son should not have been raised by her from 0 to as long as how old as he is now. That's unexcusable. Because now he's going to have a certain hatred for you, because let's be honest, he's been around his mother most of his life. You get me? All
Yeah.
the acting, that all results that you did not want to do what's necessary. And mind you, at the time, 50 was doing very well. He was really on the upper come when his son was born. You get me? And he had the resource at the time to do so, but he decided not to, because in his mind he had other priorities. That's why when he started a new relationship with this woman, he tried to do things right, which he did. But the problem is now you're going to have to do right. You have no choice now. You're going to have to make a decision. The decision women you pick and the women that you have your kids with, the future of how your kids going to turn out, that's going to be now solely on you. And if this has convinced you to take full custody because you found your woman was an actual whore, you dropped the ball, bro. The last thing you want to do is impregnate a woman that is alleged that could be a whore. She should not be having your kid, bro. It should be somebody that's doing something with their life. Can you agree? And I think with the Cuban lady, she was doing something with her life. She's actually becoming a lawyer. That would have made better sense that she should have had your kid if we want to be serious. Now, in regards to race, I understand people get issue because of mixed race and interracial race. Okay. But at least if you're a man that's making money, your woman you should select very carefully which women you can trust to have your seed, that your child will be fine. That, no, saying she's going to invest in it, the child, do what's necessary so your child comes out right. The women that he has children with, Nisa, it makes sense why the children turn out bad, especially not being involved.
I agree.
There should be a lesson learned from, not as a man or any man is watching. You should learn from, if you're going to learn from these celebrities, you should learn how they move in regards to how they formulate their little families. Because that's the same thing we do in the hood. We're black people. We do the same thing that these people do with money. No different. We should move a little differently. And you can't leave the hood out of it because they carry their hood tendencies. And mind you, 50 was raised by his grandparents, by both of them. So it don't make no sense you up here being a baby daddy. The second time. It should be only one time only, personally. You should not be a 2-time baby daddy. And now that a baby daddy,
Right.
especially where, and now you're discovering this because you did not vet this one. You didn't know much about her because the only thing that she had going is that she's not black. And that's the honest truth. She's not black. So you think because she's not black, she's not a whore. Can we agree?
Yeah, that's the idealism of a non-black woman being the idea of success or the epitome of success.
Yeah. And that's what I could draw as a conclusion, that that's why you made the decision and had a child with her. And now the find out that Puffy had it and other men have had it, now you try and walk back and say, all right, I got to step in. I got to do something. It's a bad look. No, it's been a bad look already. And now it's bad. Now you're going to be having fighting hell as custody battles because you're not even a actual husband. So now you might be able to get out of this because you have money, but be careful because now she's a woman. She's not even a black woman. And she has the United States law and system in place for her to help fight back so that you don't get full possession. We're looking at hundreds and $100,000 you're going to be spending to fight to get full custody. And trust me, the court's not going to be so lenient to give you the child because she got in ties with Puff Daddy. I'm sorry, that's not how it's going to work. Most of the time that if a woman is involved, she has to be very much not fit to be a mother to personally have full custody. It's the same for Drea. I heard stories about Drea that she's not even a fit mother, and she's now had 3 kids, not married, and her first son, from what I'm hearing, she didn't raise. She let someone else raise, and even to the point where she let her son when she monitored her son, I'm not sure how old is, in the house with some food and even locked the house. The first son. So she's not even fit to be mother because she is, unfortunately, regardless she's mixed race, she's acting like she's out in the streets. And look who she got pregnant and allowed her to get pregnant by. Because one thing I've noticed with a lot of women that are out here, Lisa, if they're not getting the man or they don't get the man they qualify, they double down and go get young impressionable minds that are up and coming. And I tell most young men this, that will get far to this broadcast. I'm going to say it as clear as possible, as clear as my voice could allow. Do not entertain women that are twice your age. If you are a man that have money or potentially you have high potential out here, because if a woman is checking for you and she is, let's say 10 years or more older, is normally she needs something from you and you have it, and it's gonna be more than sexual that she feels she could get, because she couldn't get that with a man that's older than her or same age or older, because most men that's same age or older are, depending on where age now, is a little bit wiser and not can play that game. But if you're a young impressionable man that thinks sex on the mind, they could easily get you. Because you're not thinking long term. You're not thinking ahead. Your mind is all on one thing, and that's to bust a nut when you're in your 20s. Even your brain is fully developed, you're still going to get screwed because you don't understand how women move, especially women that's older than you. Am I wrong, Nisha? I don't know if you're still there.
Nope, that's very true.
Yeah. So, like I said, I didn't want to bring back this story because I covered this him and Haley Bailey a month ago, and the reason why I'm just talking about briefly because it should be a learning lesson to a lot of men that you're going to have to be vetting these women very carefully, especially if you're up and coming. You can't be slacking. You can't be lazy. Cannot be lazy. Usually we have parents that look at some people head to toe and say if they're right or not. But nowadays, a lot of young people are out here just winging it. And that's not healthy. Even with the women, a lot of women that's young and let's say their father is not involved or they don't have access to their father, you out here finding some dude that your father has not really seen head to toe, you're pushing it.
Very true.
You're very pushing it. And a lot of these women complain and they point the finger at all black men with their decision. No, your decision could have been much simpler if you had somebody, usually a father perfectly, but someone that's a male that you could trust, someone that's close to the family, to say, look at this person, if this person is even right for you. And a lot of our young people don't do that. because they think that as they're adults by 18 that they could just figure things out and you can't tell them what to do. And then no, if you're taking relationships should be taken seriously, and that's one thing we could do better. Anyway, I'm done. Any closing remarks, Nisha?
I was just gonna say that, when it comes to life, we can have I tell females all the time, as a woman, you can have a very easy life if you choose the right man. And
Mhm,
vice versa, when it comes to a man, you can have a very easy life if you choose the right woman. It's just
mhm.
all about paying attention and making sure that that person's goals and their lifestyle aligns with yours.
Yes, yes. Indeed. I'm hoping we do this again soon. Don't be no stranger. Like I said, I broadcast 2 days a week. I don't have
Okay.
no set time. If anything, early time I might try to do is earliest around the 9 p.m. I'll probably might do my early streams, but I'm still figuring how much squeeze it in. But usually, I'm out here in the night, in the dark. That's why
Just let me
chaos.
know.
Yeah. I know, right? I hit you up in your inbox. You know what I'm saying? Or I
Okay.
hope that thing that was signed that was beneficial to the person that we're trying to do. And hope that it worked out. Yeah, yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah. All right. Thank you, Anisha. We'll talk again soon. Take care. And good night.
You as well. Thank you.
All right. And wave to everybody if you want. You can wave to everybody so people see.
Well, I got the baby right now,
Oh,
so
your baby sent. Oh, your baby. Okay, your baby. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay. Well, it's a girl, boy.
a boy. That's why I turned off the camera. I know they hear him in the background because he is like, "Give me your attention."
How old's the boy again? How old's the
He's
boy?
one.
Oh, was he born last year?
Yeah.
So is he what, your third kid? I'm trying to remember.
No, no, no. This is my son's son.
Oh,
This
your
is
son
the
has a
grandbaby.
your
Yeah.
grandmother. Oh, you playing grandma. Wonderful. Okay. I feel good. How feels being grandmother? How does it feel?
You know what? If I could have just skipped the kids and had him, it would have been so much better.
Come on, don't say that. Your
Not
son.
that I don't love them, but it's just a different type of love for the grandbabies. Like, it's just different.
Or it's just in babies in general. I think it's babies in general. Don't you think? It's babies in general.
Yeah. They it's just, I don't know, it's really different. I never, how well, you don't have kids, but
Yeah.
when you have kids, you genuinely love your kids. But when you have grandkids, it's like an extension of your kids, so it's
It
even
is.
a
It
different type
is.
of love.
It
Yeah.
is. Is a different extension, and it can be more work depending on the relationship between your own kids and yourself.
Yeah.
I think what most kids that your children or any children from parents that's adults and they have their own kids, um, it, grandparents are necessary, but I would say in this society and today, I would I want to over abund them. Um, Grandparents nowadays, you know what I'm saying? Not saying nothing wrong with it, but we don't want to over do more indulging unless they want to. They reach out. That's different. But really,
Right.
usually if you're a parent, young parent yourself, it's always good that you put enough time in your children. Your children should see more of you as much as possible, and second to maybe the grandparents at a certain point. You get me?
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
should not be reversed where the kids always want the grandparents and not with you. No, you want to build that cohesive relationship as soon as possible. Now, even
Right.
now, and it's more important now. To be honest with you, more important now because nowadays, depending on the generation of the grandparents, they're not gonna like just sit there and let their children just do anything, especially grandchildren. Okay, they're gonna carry old fashioned ways. You know,
Right.
and now if you
Yeah.
look at most, and I know one lady content creator said that most grandmas are not gonna be so involved to really help raise their grandchildren like that, even if it's their daughters, right? And I said, why not? You should because
Right.
you grew at a certain era where you're old fashioned, and you're not gonna let the young children get all caught up in this new age thing, because like people that's new parents are following new trends like their future kids, and that's not gonna work. There gotta be someone that's old school to roll back a little bit. You get me?
Absolutely.
Because
Yeah. I'm excited.
yeah.
I'm excited to teach him the things that I know, and I'm
Hmm.
excited to instill just values into him, like to teach him how to garden and to have his own, to like grow his own food and have a sustainable lifestyle, like aside from other things in the world. I'm just excited to teach him and pour into him the same way I poured into my sons. So yeah.
That's good. That's good. All right, I'm gonna let you go. We'll talk
Okay.
later. Yeah.
Yes, we will. You have a nice one.
You too. Take care. Thank you again. All right,
Thank
guys.
you.
Yep. Thank you. All right, guys. This was the stream for tonight's show. I appreciate everybody coming in to today's stream. One thing I will say, personally, when you go to the playback on this, make sure to leave a comment on some points that I've said that you agree or disagree. Also, give this video a like. I have some likes today on this video. I'm hoping with all replays that it continues moving forward, hopefully, but nothing is certain. I only hoping will to the future viewers or viewers that are subscribed to the channel that they keep watching any of my videos. And if you haven't hit the like button, please do and watch a good 5 to 10 minutes or even skip around. But just enjoy the video. One thing I would say to future audience or present audience, when we do this content, we hoping for the best that y'all guys go back to replay this, regardless if this video is monetized or not, because it lets people know that you do like the video, you have watched it, and it gives meaning to a lot of us content creators. That's one thing I hope and pray and envision that a lot of people that watch not only my videos but anybody else. So that's my only general message I would like to give to you. The links to follow me are the following. You can follow me on Twitter at chaosrain7. You could also follow me on Facebook, Eric Rain on Facebook. Join my Rumble, CRain23, and what else? Join Discord servers at Chaos Rain and become a member of the stream as well. I have 2 tiers membership. You pick which one, and that's pretty much it. Thank you again for watching today's stream. Until next time, let it chaos reign.